Hey there, fellow marketers. Professor Wolters here, and today we're here on the Shetland Islands in northern Scotland. And today we're going to talk about is actually some of the basics of social media marketing. These are kind of like 6 things you really need to keep in your head when you're developing strategies and what you want to do with your digital marketing footprint, whether it's your social media, your website, things like that, okay? And the first thing you got to really think about is make sure you know your audience. I mean, think about it. You track all these things about your clients, what their likes are, what their dislikes are, the products they buy, what they're searching for and stuff like that. Collect that information, but don't just collect that information. Use it in order to give your clients or your visitors to your website a better tailored experience. So if I see people keep watching videos on our channel about making YouTube videos, well, you know what? I should make more videos on making YouTube videos versus something else. Like, take that information and do something with it, because all that information helps you better understand your clients and their wants and needs, and therefore you can deliver a better online experience for them. And that includes, knowing what platforms they like to use. Like, do they like Instagram or Facebook, or are they stuck in MySpace time from 20 years ago? These kind of things you really got to be thinking about. And that leads into the second kind of principle you got to remember, and that is stick to your strategy. What this means is make sure you're developing a social media marketing plan. And basically what this does is it tells what platforms you're going to use, what kind of voice you're going to use in it, when are you going to post, things like that, so people can kind of understand what you're doing. Because think about it. If you follow a YouTube channel, you follow them because they talk about one certain topic. The thing is, if you follow a comedy channel and then they start talking about food or politics, you're like, no, I came for comedy, not this other stuff. What's going on here? That loses people. You want to stay focused on your strategy. And so you stick to that plan, so therefore people can kind of identify and know what they're going to get with your online presence, okay? And the thing is when you're having all these different presences, like we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we have a website, all this kind of stuff, the next thing you need to make sure you're doing is coordinating your messaging, okay? Make sure you're sending the same message on all your different platforms, because if you're super funny on one platform and super serious on another platform, and then kind of something else on another one, no one really knows if it's the right people. Like, who am I talking to? Am I talking to the serious person or the silly person? Which one is it? Have that consistent messaging across platforms so people feel like they're talking to the same person or the same brand across all the different platforms. So Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and stuff like that. So that means sometimes you're posting similar posts or the same posts, similar images, similar branding and things like that. So people don't go, is that the official site or is that like a fan site? Which one is that? Oh, it's the same picture, it's the same setup, it has that stuff on there, on their Twitter feed and their Instagram feed. Okay, now I got it. All right, because that consistency is really important for people to identify and latch on to your brand and know that it's your brand and not someone else. Because you do not want to have confused customers, because confused customers, they walk out the door. Now, my next thing for you is remember, on your social media and on your website, keep it simple and keep it visual. People like to see things. I mean, think about it. If someone puts up a picture, you're more likely to click like on Instagram or like on a Facebook page or a picture or something like that than a post. I mean, go post something on Facebook. You'll see a picture will get a lot more interaction than just you saying, I love my mom, a picture of you and your mom, and that'll get a lot more likes than saying, I love my mom, right? And so think about that. Use visualizations. What's going to help people? Show your product. Show people using your product. Show happy customers, stuff like that. That visual stuff's going to work. Infographics are a great example. I mean, yeah, I could tell you the numbers like, oh, we sold more stuff. But if I show you an infographic showing the growth from 2015 to 16 to 17 and what's going on in our favorite videos at these different times, it's like, ooh, infographic, that's kind of cool. People love that. So make sure you're using that. But in general, the visuals really help, but keeping it simple and to the point is best. Because think about it. People are scrolling through their Instagram quickly. They're scrolling through their Facebook feeds and their Twitter feeds. You got to make it simple. Keep it simple. Yeah, kids, keep it simple, stupid, You would do that because then you want people to notice it. That's the visual that's help, and then making it simple, they can grasp it. Now, when they click on it, you can send them to a link to your website that's more complicated and stuff, but the basic kind of things, you want to keep it simple and keep it visual. Now, the next thing you got to make sure you're doing, make sure you're integrating that into your social media strategy is be social, i.e. respond to your customers. I mean, it's called social media because you're supposed to be social going back and forth. So if your clients are talking to you online, talk back to them, comment back to them, answer their questions. They tweet to you, answer their questions there. On Facebook, Facebook makes it tough to see your posts on there. Make sure you make a point to search, visitors post. I mean, I know it takes forever to get to that point, but every so often do check and answer back to people's questions. That's one thing is companies, these small YouTubers and what have grown really, really big. Part of it is because they took the time to answer their clients, okay? Answer their fans, answer their customers. So make sure you're taking the time and you do schedule time. Like, hey, from 3 to 4 each day, I'm responding to consumers online, okay? Do those things out there. You'll see hotels, they'll respond to reviewers online on TripAdvisor and stuff like that to kind of help people out. And by doing that, it shows that, look, I care about what you're saying, customer that's posting review or customer that's written to us or potential customer that might want to stay with us. Hey, I'm answering you, and that's going to build a better relationship with them. Because think about it, when you have a back and forth, talk, that's the beginning of a relationship. If you're just talking at someone and they're not answering back, you're like, there's no relationship there. I mean, think about it. Ever dated someone and they don't return your calls? Yeah, that relationship is over. All right, so heads up for that one. And my last basic kind of tip for social media marketing is make sure you focus on quality over quantity. Look, you may want to put out 50 different posts. Don't do that. Put out 5 good posts over 50 crappy posts, okay? Think about it. You want people to see that and go, oh, that's good work. I like that. I want to learn more about that. I don't need 50 emails about something. Give me one good email. So instead of oversending and spamming people and calling them all the time and posting all the time and stuff like that, maybe what you do is in your social media plan, you only post 3 times a week. And you post 3 really good ones. The first one is a Motivation Monday. So we talk about people that have been successful with our products and you can be successful with it too. And on Throwback Thursday, we talk about our old products and talk about how people were successful years ago. And then Future Friday, how we could help you in your business. And you really focus on really good content, good quality content. That's going to be much more effective because having one video on YouTube that goes to 1 million views is way better than having 100 videos that goes to like 1,000 each. You're like, yeah, that's a lot of posts, but people aren't really liking it because it's more spammy than anything. So make sure you're making good quality content that you're putting out there because it's going to represent your brand, represent your social media, and also good content gets people to come back. Spamming content gets people to say unfollow. So I hope that helps you know a few basics of social media marketing. If you want to learn more, hit that subscribe button. We put out all kinds of business videos every week. We have all kinds of stuff we're on YouTube channels and all kinds of fun stuff on basics of marketing, more advanced marketing, and all kinds of other fun business topics. Anyway, I wish you all the best. Good luck with your social media marketing. I hope these basics kind of get you on a good path going forward. And we do have more social media marketing videos to help you out. Anyway, if you're studying for an exam, I wish you good luck. If you are just learning about social media marketing, I hope you learned something as well. And I will say bye from here in the Shetland Islands. Hey there, fellow marketers. Mark here. And today we're going to talk about are the differences and similarities between traditional media, like TV, billboard, newspaper ads, and social media. Those Facebook ads, those pre-roll and mid-roll ads on YouTube videos, probably one you saw before this video, those kind of things. We're going to compare and contrast those two to see how we as marketers can use those, but also how they kind of affect the kind of things we can do and what we can do with money and all kinds of stuff like that, all right? Now, one of the things that's really cool, whether you're in traditional media or in your social media, if you look at the ability to reach a large audience and a niche small audience, both of them can do that. I mean, think about it. In traditional marketing, yes, you can reach tons of people. Think about the TV commercials at the Super Bowl. Everyone even talks about those commercials. It's pretty cool. You can get that huge audience that way. Also, if you get a big newspaper with a lot of people reading, we can get a big audience that way. These kind of things. Social media, yeah, we can put ads in front of tons and tons of different websites and banner ads and pre-roll ads on videos and stuff like that. We can do those. So we can get the big stuff. But also, both of them let you get down and get into those little niche markets, okay? So for example, if you want to get a niche market on, train people, there's actual magazines that are just about trains and train collecting, like little miniature trains or big trains or gas-powered trains or, people that watch trains go by. There's a whole market just for magazines for that. And so you can niche down into that magazine stuff. Also, think about it. You can niche down into the blogs about trains too. So you can get really focused down into a small small niche or in either one. So it's really kind of cool. So no matter what kind of media you're going to use, you can get the big groups, but also the small groups as well. Okay, so that's the one really big thing where both traditional media and social media do well and you can use. Okay, now where they really start to differ though is expense and access. Look, traditional media tends to be a lot more expensive. Think about those $4 million ads they have on the Super Bowl. Yeah, that's just for the ad time. That's not actually making the ad, okay? You got to pay for all the people to make those ads, right? You got to pay for the person to put up the billboard, the person to print out the billboard, all these kind of stuff really adds onto the price. So traditional media can be quite pricey, whereas social media, I mean, it's cheap. I mean, think about it. I mean, if you have a business page on Facebook, you can advertise for a post for $2 or $3 if you want. I mean, it can be a very cheap option, okay? And the thing is, if we look at access to these things, for traditional media, one of the issues we have is getting access to that. They have to drive by that billboard. If they don't go down that street, no one's going to see it. I mean, that's why a billboard downtown where people see a lot is going to cost a lot more than a billboard out past the city limits, okay? Also, people have to watch that TV channel. They have to pick up that newspaper, which not a lot of people do anymore. So it is tougher that way. Access for social media, hey, if you know they're going to that website, hey, that's a nice thing there because we track all that stuff. That can be a good thing on there because people are going there. But also, the issue with access is you got to think about it in terms of social media, in terms of it is everywhere, but is everybody looking at it? Okay, how many times are you actually looking at that Facebook ad? But also, how many times you actually look up and look at a billboard? There are issues with that one too, though. But in general, traditional media is more expensive, social media is cheaper, and you got a little bit better access because people have their phones all the time. And when people walk, they're doing this with their phones, not looking up at billboards, okay? Now, the next thing when we kind of compare these two, we're looking at training and the number of people involved. Now, think about it. In traditional media, you have to have, like in a TV commercial kind of stuff, right? You got to have a director, a producer, an executive producer, some actors, script writer, right? You got to have that. The camera people, the mixer, the sound people, the editor. You have all these people involved, and they need special training. I mean, I have no idea how to work a TV camera or something like that. You have to have all those things. Whereas in social media, training, I mean, what training does it take to point your camera at yourself and film and push upload? You don't need really too much training at all. I know my mom, I love her to death. She's not the most tech savvy person out there, but you know what? She's got a Facebook page where she's posting videos and she's posting content and blogs and stuff like that. She's doing some really cool stuff and you don't have to have a lot of training for it. Look at me. I mean, I'm making this video. It's me, my tripod, and my camera, and that's it. You don't need a lot. You don't need a lot of training for it. And that's what's great about social media because it's really kind of even the playing field so anybody can do it, not just those that have the technical skills for it. Okay, so there's those things. Next thing I want to look at is time to delivery. Look, if you're looking at traditional media, time delivery, how long does it take to actually make the ad and stuff like that and to get it in front of customers? It takes time. I mean, think about movies. They film it 2 years before and then it takes them a year to edit it and then they have to put it out in July and stuff like that. It takes time. Whereas social media is an instant gratification kind of thing. I see something cool, I take a picture of it. Oh, selfie with this. I'm going to do that because it's right there. And so that time to delivery is so much shorter in social media and that you can really do it instantaneously. Like in traditional media, I can't make a billboard about my reaction about the last Game of Thrones episode when that happened. No, I can't do that because it takes so much time. It'll be on to the next episode. But on social media and Twitter, heck yeah, I can start posting right away. I can have instant stuff. Oh my God, did Arya just do that? Oh my gosh. You have these things, okay? And so that's one of the cool things about social media is it can be instant. It can be now. And we have a society that's all about instant gratification. That's why social media has a bigger impact sometimes than the traditional media kind of stuff because it's just so much faster to deliver it, okay? Now, the next thing I want to look at is what we call permanence. Once I make something, is it stuck forever? Now, think about social media. You can make a post, you don't like it, you can delete it right away, or you can change some of the words in it because, I misspelled something. You can change some stuff. Like I know if you mess up, people will copy it and share it and stuff like that, but you can do instant changes. The problem is if you do like traditional media, like billboards and movies and TV shows, once you put it up on there, you can't really change it. It's up there. The movie's up there. That's why editors are so important in traditional media. You got to make sure they're checking the script. You got to make sure they're making sure that everything's spelled correctly. Did we use the right there? Is it there, or there? you have to have all that stuff, because once it's up there forever, and you're like, I can't take it down. It takes time to get the billboard people back to go and take that down and put a new one up. So you have those issues there. So traditional media, once it's done, it's permanent. You can't really change it. Whereas social media, you can have instant changes, which is cool. The last kind of comparing thing I want to talk about is credibility and social authority. Look, social media is awesome. Being on YouTube is great, right? Being able to watch these videos and help you out is awesome. But the thing is, in general, social media doesn't always have a lot of credibility. Okay, you're like, oh, I saw it on the internet. Do you trust everything you see on the internet? No. But if you say, oh, I was on ABC Nightly News, oh, all of a sudden everything's like really special. That's the thing, is traditional media really means something to people. It has a lot more credibility, it has a lot more social authority, because it's harder to put like fake stuff on traditional media than it is on social media. I mean, think about all the conspiracy theories you can find online versus what you see on billboards and TV. I mean, I know there's a lot of Ancient Alien episodes out there, but you kind of think about this and go, you're right. And that's why you want to have a nice combination of the two, because social media can give you a lot of stuff, but if you can get in front of people, if you can get on a TV show or something like that, or a newscast or in the newspaper, it really brings you a lot more kind of credibility and people trust you more. I know for me, I was on a local news channel here. We had 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, 110, 15 million views at the time. Didn't mean anything. Once I was on the local news, then my friends were like, hey, you're actually making it. I'm like, but I was already making it before. No, but people give more social authority to that traditional media. So you got to think about, what am I selling? What am I trying to get out there? Sometimes it's more important to have that credibility than just being the notoriety of social media, okay? So I hope this helps you know some of the differences and similarities. Believe me, there's a ton more between social media and traditional media. If you want to learn more about marketing or being a YouTube channel or all kinds of stuff, click that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. Don't forget to give us a like, because we do like to help out other people. So whether you're studying for an exam, good luck, or if you're trying to figure out what media to use to promote your business, I hope this helped you out. Anyway, I'll say bye from here in the classroom. Hey there, fellow marketers, Professor Wolters here, and today we're back in Savannah, Georgia. And today what I want to talk about are actually the social media platforms that are out there that companies and marketers really need to look at. Because what you have to realize is the different types of social media platforms that are out there will influence how you'll interact with customers, what kind of content you'll be creating, when do I need to reply back, when don't I reply back, these kind of things. And that's what companies really need to know, is what are the different types of platforms that are out there, okay? Now, the first platform I want to talk about is what's called a social networking site. And these are websites where we connect kind of informally with others to share our social interests or our interests in general. So those are your Facebooks, right? You know, you're on Facebook to share, oh, I like this food, or here's what I had for dinner, or what are you doing tonight? You're just sharing interests, right? Twitter, you know, you've seen what you follow people to see what they're doing, these kind of things. So with those, as a company, what we want to do is we want to follow those. We want to see is, what are people socially sharing about us, about Wolters World, our travel site, or the Professor Wolters channel, or whatever. We're kind of seeing those things out there and looking and seeing how people are kind of sharing those social interests, okay? Now the thing is the social networking sites is more of a general kind of thing, right? Because then we have what are called interest-based networking sites. These are ones that are much more focused, okay? So let's say you only like model trains, right? You might be in a social group, a social media platform that is just based on, you know, model trains, or you might be one that's just on Pokemon, or one that's just on sports, and you have social networks that are just based on that one interest, hence why they're called interest-based networks. And so what you'll see here is you'll see people that are more focused on the current trends that you're going to see in that topic. So if you're focused on an interest-based site, you know, if it's only on sports, it's going to talk about what are the biggest sports stories of today, what's going on. We need to talk about what team's doing what and what player's done this and things like that, okay? And so it's important for us as marketers, if we see that our products or services fit into that interest-based network, like if people are going to be talking about that and dealing with it, we're kind of important, we might want to put a little more effort into our interaction with our fans and the social media in that aspect. Because look, if we're ESPN, we need to be out there in all the things where people talking about sports. If it's toys, we're Hasbro, we need to be out there showing them the cool Hasbro toys that are coming out. We want to make sure we're a part of that, because those groups are specifically focused on an interest that's directly related to us. And going along with that, if you look at how people react to our products, The next social media site I want to talk about, or the next social media kind of platforms you'll see, are the online review sites. Okay, so that might be Yelp or TripAdvisor or hotels.com. I mean, I know you can book stuff through those, but you go on there to see is what is that hotel like? Do they have, air conditioning? Is that restaurant good? What kind of food do they have? What are the reviews? And so these online review sites are really set up specifically to let people socially interact, let people know about what their experiences were with this service, with this product. Obviously, as a company or a service provider, you want to be on top of these things. How are people reviewing you? Because people trust reviews written by other people way more than they trust advertising, okay? So you got to see is what are people actually saying about their experience at our hotel or at our restaurant? Do we need to fix things out there? And so that's why you'll see on TripAdvisor, you'll see if there's bad reviews or good reviews. Good hotels, good hotels does not mean expensive or cheap. It means they're just good. They will go on there and they'll interact with those people to see what went wrong. What can we fix? Because you can look on there and see, that person gave it a 1-star review. Why is that? And then you read the review and understand that, oh, it's because they had to cancel their trip and therefore they didn't get to stay at the hotel, so they gave it a 1. Okay, now I understand because that's out there. And the hotel replied back saying, hey, we hope you can stay again with us next time. So there's some nice interaction there because you can actually change upset customers into like brand champions by treating them right, even if things go wrong. But on those online review sites, you got to make sure that you are tracking what's going on, okay? Because they are very, very easy to manipulate. As a marketer, I actually talk to my students about how easy it is to manipulate things. If you look at TripAdvisor, go to tripadvisor.com. Anybody can leave a review. So if I want to have a good review on my hotel, well, I'll just tell all of my friends, hey, go on TripAdvisor, go to my website, give a 5-star review, say we're clean, we're nice, we're special, and something like that. And you'll see, have you ever read a review like on iTunes about a song? It's like, it's the greatest song ever. And you're like, it's the 12th song on this album that nobody bought. I don't think it's the best song ever. But they do that to kind of pump it up. So it's really easy to manipulate those things. And that's why you'll see sometimes companies will go in there and they will manipulate that. Or they might ask people to that. And you're like, that's funny. This person has commented the same comment on 6 different hotels or 6 different restaurants. Are they just copy and pasting to boost up the thing? But it also goes the other way because sometimes nefarious competition might go in and just give you bad reviews so people don't go there because people trust those online review sites so much. That's why companies really need to track that stuff. Now, the next social media platforms I want to kind of talk about is, have you ever gone to a blog, to read somebody's blog or stuff like that? Maybe go to professorwolters.com to learn all about your marketing needs, right? And what those are social publishing platforms, okay? So this is the WordPress, this is, Blogger, things like that let people have their own kind of website to run things like professorwolters.com or waltersworld.com for travel. You can have that. And so therefore, people can create their own atmosphere. They can create their own environment of where they want to talk about things. I want to talk about travel on this site. I want to talk about marketing on this site. They can do that. And the thing is it can be for any topic that's out there. How many different blogs have you seen? There's blogs about people that like, husky guys that travel. Yes, there's a whole stuff on that, okay? There is that. So you kind of see that, if we're a business, what do I need to be looking at here? Well, what you might want to look at is who are the most influential ones out there. This is where those marketing influencers kind of came in because they're publishing content that's influencing people and stuff like that. And it's more than just a review. It's something they control on their own. So you'll see it's like, maybe I need to work with that person, or I need to see what their experiences was in my hotel or in my restaurant, because a lot of people will read that. I know for us, we get questions all the time on our travel channel. Hey, what restaurant do we have to go to and what do we have to eat? I'm like, look, I'll give you an idea of the food to have in this country or in this city, but tell you the exact restaurant, I don't want to send everybody just to one restaurant. You remember there's the Bourdain effect. When Anthony Bourdain would go someplace, everyone would go to that restaurant, but no one would go anywhere nearby, So we want to get more people out there. But what happens is companies want to see is like, look, if they talk about us in their blog, it's influential, that could be a lot of people into our business, okay? So you will see those things out there. So that's why you want to make sure you're monitoring it. Now, the next thing you're going to look at is what's called a media sharing site for a social platform or a social media platform. That is like YouTube, right? You're on one right now if you're watching this on YouTube. And what this does is allows us to create content to share in video form or picture form. Instagram would be another example of that, because we're publishing pictures and videos and stuff like that to be shared, whether it's privately or publicly. We have those things out there, but those platforms are specifically for media, for pictures, for videos, stuff like that. And the last social media platform I want to talk about is bookmarking sites. Okay, these are things like Pinterest. Okay, so if you're not sure what Pinterest is, it's basically something's interesting to you, you pin it to a board so you can look at it later or share to people. These are all my favorite articles on travel. These are all my favorite articles on woodworking. These are all my favorite articles on marketing. And so it's all kind of gathered. So it's made in order to help share with other people and to have them share things with you. Okay, so that's why you'll see bloggers will have certain different kind of pictures on their blogs. We have to have the long one because that one looks way better on Pinterest and people want to share the pretty picture for my blog, not a picture of some fat guy on there. No, they're gonna show the picture of, oh, the Eiffel Tower, not Mark like, hey, welcome to France. Yeah, no, they're not gonna have that. So you have those different things out there. And the thing is, there's a lot of different social media platforms, so there's different kinds that are out there. These are the main ones I wanted to talk about so you had an idea of what to look out for. Because the thing is some of these things will cross over. I mean, think about it. Instagram, in a way, is also, I mean, it is a media sharing site, but also it's a social networking site because you talk to your friends. So there's a lot of crossover in here. But the overall idea of what we're trying to do by platform is important for us to know as marketers. So therefore, we can use that to help reach out and interact with our customers. That's why it's called social media. We're being social, we're interacting with them, okay? So make sure you do use that. So I hope this helps you understand better what the different types of social media platforms that are out there. It's too early in the morning today for me, I guess. Anyway, I wish you all the best and bye from Savannah, Georgia. Hey there, fellow marketers, Professor Wolters here, and today we're going to talk about are some of the typical goals of social media and social media marketing. And I think the first one you really want to think about, and the reason why people love social media is just the awareness factor. We actually use social media to build awareness of our brand. Hey, look at us here. Look what we're doing. Let me show you people using our product. Let's look at those happy customers jumping around, celebrating their new car they bought and things like that. That's one of the big things. One of the very first things you're looking at in terms of your social media goal is just building awareness of your brand, of your products, of your services, all this kind of stuff. And that allows people to share their experiences and things like that. And then when people share their experience, it helps grow the awareness. Because think about it. If you use your Wolters World t-shirt or your Andiamo t-shirt, you get things like that. Doesn't that help build awareness for Wolters World or our brand and stuff like that? You think about that. So building brand awareness is really a really great goal that you have for your social media. Now, the second goal I want to talk about is driving traffic to your website. Now, it's not the biggest goal of social media, but it is an important goal of social media. I mean, have you ever been on Twitter and clicked on a link and go visit that site? You end up landing on the website or what we call a landing page, a very specific page. We want to send people there. It's kind of like, oh, we want people to learn about our soccer page, right? And so we have a link and they go to that soccer page, learn about the greatest soccer players of all time. You click on that and you're driving traffic to that website or that landing page. So that's another thing. And I think it's important to also note, is that when we're driving traffic, we're not just driving traffic to a website or a landing page. We might use social media to drive literal traffic to some destination, getting people to go to a store. Hey, don't forget, we have pickup only, so you can come do that. Oh, I didn't think about that. The social media let me know that my favorite restaurant has takeout, so I can just drive up and grab it as opposed to going into the restaurant. That's so cool. So you really can use it to kind of drive traffic to your website, but also drive it to any destination you want. And that's why you'll see people announcing their Black Friday deals, come to the store at 2 a.m. and this is our deals. They're driving you that way. Okay. Now, another thing that's really great about social media, one of the goals you really should go for is engaging with your fans. I mean, that's one of my favorite parts of doing social media, having all these YouTube videos and Facebook and all that kind of stuff, is getting a chance to meet the fans and engage with them and other professors and marketing people and travelers and stuff like that. And when you engage with their fan, you start building relationships, right? And when you build that relationship, you build that trust, they're more likely to come back to you. And the thing is you're not necessarily building social media to sell. I mean, you can, and I'll talk about that later, but you're really out there really building that community spirit. And that is the biggest goal of social media, building community spirit. Because think about it, if you just try to sell things all the time, people turn off. I mean, how many of you have gotten your friends that talk about, oh, you should ask me about my wraps or my creams or my special weight loss programs? After a while, you're like, dude, please stop, and you mute them, right? So you don't want to oversell all the time. What you want to do is build that community spirit so when people do buy, they do think of you. They do go to your website. Because remember, website is for selling, social media is for community building, okay? Now, another thing we can look at in terms of a goal of our social media is actually to build our fan base. Because think about it. If you like a band, right? You like a band, I listen to some of their songs, and maybe you post a comment on their video or you share their video and they say, hey, thanks for sharing our video. You're like, oh, cool. Pearl Jam just wrote to me. Yeah, I'm in my 40s, but that'd still be pretty dang cool if Pearl Jam said, dude, awesome job. I mean, these kind of things, you really help grow your fan base in terms of the strength you have with them, but in terms of making new fans. Now, I realize I said community building is the most important part of social media, and we shouldn't focus a lot on selling on social media because that can turn people off, but I'm not saying you don't sell on social media. There's a limit to it, and that's why some of your other goals you have for social media could relate to sales. Like one thing you might look at is social media can help us generate leads, finding out who might be interested in our product. How many of you scrolled through Instagram and you see one of those funny Christmas sweaters? You're like, oh, maybe I will learn about that. Click and you go to the website, right? That's generated a lead. It's somebody that might buy our products. You do have that. And also going along with that, it's not just getting leads to people that might buy. Sometimes you actually have it so you can buy. You know, if you ever gone to a Facebook page and they'll have like a shop underneath so you can like, oh, I could buy that t-shirt. I mean, you could buy an Andiamo t-shirt at the facebook.com/WoltersWorld. They have that there. Or when you watch a YouTube video, they'll have the merchandise below. Sometimes you do use social media for sales. Now, we do a video on how often you should put a sales post in your social media. That's later on, so watch that video to kind of see what the good like ratio to non-sales to sales numbers would be. And another kind of business area you might look at in terms of your goals for social media is you could actually use social media to help you recruit potential employees. I mean, we all have our LinkedIn accounts, right? And our LinkedIn account shows how great we are. But the thing is, we also want to look at the companies we might work for and go, huh, that's kind of interesting. And so we actually are selling our company as a good place to work via LinkedIn, via our social media. I mean, don't you think having that fun Twitter account with Wendy's makes people go, huh, if I got to work at a burger place, that Wendy's one looks like it would be a fun place to go. And so we have that. So we do use that, okay? And then I think another thing in terms of your goal for your social media, it can really help you establish yourself as a thought leader in your industry. If you're talking about the main topics and the main issues in your industry, people are going to see that, wow, they're really discussing the tough questions. They're really discussing the important issues. I want to hear what they have to say about things. And that's why it's important when you have social media, you don't just use it to be funny or silly as a business, you also do it to show your professionalism, to show you know what's going on. And so you want to kind of do that. And that's why you'll see companies say, our thoughts on the COVID-19 are where we go from here. Where does the travel industry go from here? You'll see these kind of things from different companies showing that, look, we are leading the charge. We do know what's going on. We're showing you, we see where things are going, and then people trust them more. Wow, you've really thought this through. You thought of the next steps. I mean, how many of you have been upset because people say one thing, like, yeah, but what happens next? Like, what's the end goal? What are we going to have after that? What's the plan? And you have companies that are saying, this is the plan. It goes a long way to really establish that thought leadership. And another thing I think is really a good goal of social media is actually improving your search engine optimization, because honestly, look yourself up online right now. If you're a business student or something like that and you have your LinkedIn account, it doesn't matter how big your Instagram is or your Facebook or your TikTok or whatever. If you look up, Mark Wolters, professor, I'm going to guess that my LinkedIn profile is the one that comes up first, not something else. We start to see it's like, wait, what does that mean? It means our social media helps us with our search engine optimization. Whether it's me for a person, then people are finding that out. But also for companies, if we're putting that social media out there, there's more chances people will find us. There's more searches that will end up with our information in some form or another. That's why you need to have your social media pages. Now, I'm not saying have every single social media platform out there. I'm saying have the main ones that are for your companies that they're going to be searching for, because that's what's going to come up in search engines. Because having a strong social media presence will actually bring more people to your websites too, and bring more notoriety to you. Like we said, building that awareness. That awareness thing is another way you can say search engine optimization and how it will help out. Now, another thing we can look at is how social media can actually improve the perception of our brand. I mean, have you ever noticed when there's a new funny set of commercials, people, like, it streams online and people get excited by it, it can really change your perception of things? Like, if you think back, Old Spice, I remember when I first started dating my wife, one of my dad's friends had Old Spice on. She said, oh, you smell like my grandpa. And she didn't mean bad. She's like, oh, it's just that old smell. And so Old Spice had this kind of like old man vibe. And what they did is they had a whole new set of commercials. This is what your man could be. Yeah, the whole Spice guy. There was a great set of commercials, and it really changed people's perception of our brand. And we can use social media. We can use the viral nature of social media to really help people get a different perception of our brand. And we can use that, and we can actually reach out to new customers, because, you know, no 18 to 25-year-old was going out and looking for Old Spice. But now with those memes and with the social media stuff and the sharing of the commercials and things like that, it really helped change the perception of Old Spice. And that's why, hey, that can be one of your good goals for social media, is to do that, okay? And then the last thing I want to talk about is how social media, and the goal you could have is just to help you announce new products, help you release new products, help you get the word out about new products. Think about it. When there's a new movie coming out, don't they have a Facebook page and an Instagram page and a TikTok page and all those YouTube channel, and they use the videos out there. They have the teaser to the teaser trailer video, then the teaser trailer, then the teaser to the preview, and then the release of the pictures. And there's always the behind the scenes photos. Oh, these snuck pictures from the newest Avengers movie is online. You'll never believe who the new villain is. That drives awareness. Oh, there's a new one coming. Oh, I can't wait. Who is the new villain? What do they dress like? What's a costume like? It gets people kind of excited. But the thing is, it really helps you launch that new product, right? Because then people are finding out about it. And so you can use social media to do that. And since social media can be a lot more affordable than traditional media, that's why for smaller companies, it can be a really good way to let people know that, hey, we've got these new things coming out. Because think about it, if you're a mom and pop restaurant and you have a new special, a new thing you're trying out, can you put billboards all around town? Check out our new nacatamales. Oh, we're straight from Nicaragua. No, you're going to do is you're going to put picture on Facebook and Instagram to let people know that way to announce that new product. Okay, so I hope this helps you know some of the goals, or as I would say, some of the typical goals of social media. If you want to learn more, we got plenty of videos to help you out with social media, and I'll say bye from here. Bye. Hey there, fellow marketers, Professor Wolters here, and today what I want to talk about are 5 fundamentals that all social media managers should really know and take to heart and really be burned into their brain, like tattooed on them, in terms of what's important about social media, okay? And the first fundamental I think we got to get across is content is king. You have to make good content. Look, if you're looking at your post going, I don't know if this is good enough, it's not good enough. You need to have good content. There's so much stuff getting out there. There's so many posts, there's so many pictures, so many infographics, TikTok dances, all this stuff. There's so much noise out there that if you don't have a really good post, you don't have really good content, people aren't going to notice it. They're not going to pay attention to it. They're not going to like it. They're not going to share it. They're not going to be influenced by it. All right, so make sure you're really focused on making good content. Spend the time to learn how to use Canva or something like that to make a better looking post, to use the filters, to use the right hashtags. You need to do that, okay? But really look at making good content. Quality over quantity will work in social media because there's just so much quantity out there right now that the good stuff, it floats to the top, right? So something to think about. Now, the second fundamental I think is important for all social media managers to know is experiment. Keep experimenting, keep trying other things. Look, when you're putting out an infographic, what happens? When you put out a poll, what happens? When you put out a blog, when you share a picture of a happy customer, what happens? You need to be tracking all those things to see what works. Because you might have a system, oh, well, these posts always get 1,000 likes, so we're fine. Well, what could you be doing to do better? Is there something we could change? And that's what's great about social media is you can experiment, you can try out new things, and the analytics will tell you, hey, that's actually getting more people to click and visit the website. Hey, that's the blog that's getting people to buy our product. That's the video that's getting people to subscribe. We can learn a lot, but what we have to do is experiment. Okay, because the next fundamental of social media is it's constantly changing. Figuring out what is trending is something you need to be a part of. You need to be on Google Trends and figuring out what's happening, what's going on, and have your ear to the ground. Hey, what's the new thing? What are people doing now? Because right now it might be TikTok dances, and for businesses it's all about LinkedIn white papers, right? But you know what? In 2 years or 6 months, it might be completely different. There might be a whole other social media platform. There might be a new topic. I mean, think about it. Remember when everyone was doing the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, and now it's all the dance challenges? What's next? You know, this is the things you got to be thinking about. So make sure you're looking out for trends and realizing that social media never stays constant. You need to keep updating yourself. That's why you want to always be educating yourself, watching videos online, taking classes to keep up to date with what the newest things in social media are. And if you couldn't tell from me singing the praises of analytics, the fourth fundamental of social media is analytics. Data analytics is key. You need to be tracking things to see what's working, what's not working, where we should be funneling our money, and who are our real clients, because the analytics will tell you that. They'll tell you what to post. They'll tell you when to post. They will tell you how often to post. But the thing is, you're going to get so much information coming in, you might not be sure what to do with it. That's why analytics training is something you really should invest some time in, because it will make a difference in your business and especially in your social media to really get more pop for every social media promoted ad you put out there, or every post you might be showing, or video that's out. Your analytics will do a lot. So spend the time to learn the analytics, and not just learn the analytics, but understand how they work and what they're saying to you and to your business, okay? And then the fifth fundamental, and there's a lot of fundamentals, but these are 5 ones I like to really focus on and really want to make sure is like deep down ingrained into my social media managers, and that is don't sell on social media. Look, do you like it when your friend's selling the wrap or the cream or the pill or the workout routine on Facebook all the time? No, eventually you're like, oh, no, I do not want to buy cryptocurrency from you. No, I don't want to do this. Like, you tune people out. And if you're a business that's constantly selling on social media, your customers tune you out. Now, occasionally you can sell on social media, maybe like 1 out of every 5 or 6 posts, fine. But you don't want your social media just to be buy, 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 buy. Now your website can be buy, 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 buy. That's fine, because they're specifically going to your website to go buy something or learn something about it. That's different. But on your social media, you don't want to sell. You want to build that community feeling so the customers feel like you're with them, that you're one of their friends. And so when it's time for them to buy, then they're going to buy from you, because they have more of a positive kind of impression of you and your business, okay, via social media. All right, so I hope these 5 fundamentals can help you do better with social media, but honestly, these are things that have to be ingrained in your head as a social media manager to make sure you're doing that so you can be a success. Anyway, I wish you all the best, and I'll say bye from here in Savannah, Georgia. Hey there, fellow marketers, Professor Wolters here, and today we are here in Aruba, and today we're going to talk about is digital consumer culture. Because we as marketers really need to have a better understanding of how our consumers work just in general, but especially that digital consumer, okay? What's influencing them? How do we make the perspective right? What's the idea of information for them? What are we trying to think about? And the first thing I want to talk about, and the first kind of part of digital consumer culture that I think you should know about, is that it's consumer-centric or customer-centric. I mean, think about it. The ads, the reviews, all these kind of things are generated from the consumer's perspective. You know why we have all that influencer marketing? Because they want to see it from the consumer's perspective. What's it like when you come to Aruba, right? What's it like when it's not filtered? Well, here's Aruba at 7:30 in the morning. If you want to see what it's like, the beaches are empty. If you come here in 2 hours, the beaches are packed. But it's giving you that perspective from a consumer side. And so what we do as marketers, we have to make sure that we're informing customers of possible needs and wants that are out there. I mean, were you really thinking about going to Aruba for spring break? No, but now that I see the beaches, maybe I will go there. That's what we're trying to do, but we're trying to give it from the consumer's perspective. We're thinking about them first, okay? Now, the second thing I want to talk about with the digital consumer culture is how it's omnipresent. I mean, think about it. It's not just on your computer anymore. You have your phone, you have your smartwatch. I mean, heck, your refrigerator's connected, right? It's everywhere. It's omnipresent. I mean, how many of you are watching this video in the bathroom right now? Guilty? Yeah, I'm sure some of you are. So we have to realize is people will be getting our information and we'll be marketing to them in all kinds of locations, not in one specific desktop or one specific phone. You have to think about those things. That's why you'll see, if for example, you make a WordPress blog, they'll show you what it'll look like on desktop, on tablet, on mobile, so you have an idea of how things are going to look, right? So you have to think about that. The next thing in digital consumer culture is the interconnectivity of the digital consumer culture. I mean, think about it. With social media, we're always connected. I mean, you're watching this on YouTube, all right? Or you're watching it someplace like YouTube, right? You have that. Maybe it was posted on Facebook, or maybe it's on an Instagram TV kind of thing. I mean, it's all over the place. And you might be texting with your friend, and then, you know, given a shout out on Instagram, and then it's on Vine. Well, Vine's gone now, but you have all these different things that people are kind of interacting with, right? And so we have to realize that is that social aspect, the interconnectivity of all of our consumers, the digital consumers out there. So we know that, you know what, some chubby guy making a video about, you know, digital culture will influence people going to Aruba on spring break because we're all interconnected that way. And so with the interconnectivity, we need to realize is, hey, we can use that to our advantage to reach out to more customers, reach out to more consumers. That's why you'll see companies say, hey, please write a review about our company or post a review on our Facebook page, because when you post that review, then it shows up when your friends look at that page, right? So you see those kind of things out there. I mean, think about it, that interconnectivity. How many times were you checking your email while you've been watching these videos, or checking your social media? Think about it. There's all these different ways you're interacting in this digital sphere. And the thing is, what's important to know in the next aspect of the digital consumer culture is how information rich the digital consumer culture is. Think about it. If you don't like a class you're studying for, you can go online and watch someone else's video that can teach it better, right? You're not sure what you should be paying for that car, you can look online, right? You have all that information out there. And since we know there's all this information out there in our business, hey, what are our consumers wanting to know? What are our competitors sharing in terms of information? What's out there? We can collect all these things and understand better what people need, what they want, and stuff like that. And the thing is, with all this information we do collect, we can also think about the next part, and that is the personalization, or the personalized side of digital consumer culture. I mean, think about it. I'm going to guess if you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube or something like that, there's probably suggested videos over there that are targeted specifically for you based on other videos you've watched. Or maybe you're watching this on Facebook or something like that, and you see me playing here, but over there, there's some ad that's personalized just for you because they saw you went to Amazon and looked at these products, so they're gonna put that out to try to sell it to you again. Or they're gonna see that, oh, well, Mark has been talking about Aruba, his GPS is in Aruba, he checked in on Facebook in Aruba, he must be in Aruba. Let's put ads for Domino's Pizza for him, Domino'sAruba.com, so he can get cheaper food because, oh my gosh, the food is really expensive here in Aruba, so you gotta save money somehow. And he's going to want to do that. And so we can start seeing these things because of all that personalization. And so that's why you have very personalized user-generated content in terms of the consumers that are making stuff and putting it out there. But also we as firm can make personalized content for our digital consumer so it's more tailored to them. And that's one of the best things about digital marketing is now you don't get, okay, this ad is for everyone from 18 to 118. No, this ad will go to people that are 18 to 25. This ad will go for people that are 26 to 30. This ad will go to just parents. This one will go to retirees. You can do that with the personalization side here in the digital consumer culture, okay? Now, there's other things you need to think about in the digital consumer culture, whether it's privacy, which relates to the information and all kinds of stuff, but that's for another video. I just want to give you a rough idea of some of the kind of aspects of the digital consumer culture that you should be thinking about as a marketer. Anyway, I wish you all the best, and bye from here in beautiful Aruba. Hey there, fellow marketers, Professor Wolters here, and today we're going to talk about digital-first consumers. And you may ask yourself, what's a digital-first consumer? Or more importantly, who is a digital-first consumer? Well, guess what? I'm a digital-first consumer, you're a digital-first consumer, my dad's a digital-first consumer. Basically, digital-first consumers, they use digital media as their preferred first source to acquire information about a purchase they want to do. So if you think about it, you're going to want to see a movie, right? You hear about a movie, don't you watch the preview on YouTube first? Yep. You want to go get some dinner, right? You hear about a restaurant, right? You're like, oh, let's see. I want to look online and see what food they have. Do you have any pictures on Instagram that people ate the food that's there? Let's see what they've had. What are the reviews online? Do they have their menu? And most importantly, what's the prices, right? You want to see those things. So digital first consumer is going out there and figuring those things out. You want to go on vacation. What do you do? Oh, you watch some YouTube videos about that destination. You go look online on reviews for those all-inclusive resorts. What do they have on offer? You're doing that. That is what a digital first consumer does. It gets their information first from online sources, and that's what I want you to think about. And for a business, it's what's important is you have to realize is that consumers are doing most of the decision making before they show up in your store, before they pick up that phone to call you, before they type that email to send you like, I want to buy your stuff, before they click buy on the website. they're doing their research. And so you as a marketer have to realize that. So we need to make sure that we have our information out there for those digital first consumers so we can control the narrative about our products. So we can show, here's our product, here's what it does, here's all our value propositions, here's our price points, here's how it can be instituted, here's how you fix it. You want to put that information out there because people are going to want to know. That's why it's important you track the kind of questions people ask. Because if someone's asking that question once, there's probably other people that are asking that question as well. So get that information out there to help them. And I know some businesses are like, well, I don't want people to know all of our information. Well, here's the thing. Your information's already out there. People have already written those reviews. They're talking about you. And your competition, you know they're talking about you too. So would you rather have your competition talk about you, or would you want to make sure that you're sharing the right kind of message and information about your products and services? Well, you do. So you need to get that information out there to those digital first consumers first, before your competition talks for you. And the thing is, when you look at digital first consumers, it's not just, oh, that's millennials. No, it's Gen Z, it's millennials, it's Gen X, it's the boomers, the seniors, all this kind of stuff. Everybody does it. I mean, I spent 20 minutes talking to my father, who is north of 70 something. And we had a whole conversation about how he is never going to go to a store again because he can buy everything online. He's like, the reviews are there. I can see if it's going to be there. They deliver it to my house. He's doing all the searching with never even thinking about going to the store. So it's not just one generation that are digital first consumers. It's all generations. So you want to make sure you have information that attracts and appeals and answers the questions of all those generations. And it's not just for business to consumer goods, it's also in the business to business. They want to know, people want to do their research beforehand, so when they go talk to you about your products, they already have a set of questions. They have an idea what they're going to buy, what they need before they show up to talk to you. So make sure you're sharing all that important information, that relevant information for potential clients, because those digital first consumers, they're looking that up. So restaurants, we need your menu with prices, and please put a picture with that menu item so I know what I'm getting. Because how many of you go to a restaurant, you see a menu and they got a picture on the wall and you're like, dang, that looks good, but I have no idea what correlates to what. Now, have that stuff out there, make it easier for them to understand, because digital first consumers are all consumers these days. So I hope this helps you understand better what a digital first consumer is. And if you want to learn more, keep watching, because we got plenty more videos to help you out. Bye. Hey there, fellow marketers, we're back, and today we're going to talk about is omnichannel marketing. And you might not know what omnichannel marketing is, you might not care what omnichannel marketing is, but the thing is, omnichannel marketing is all around you. Have you ever noticed that you'll see an ad at one place and then you'll search for it online and then it'll pop up on an ad on another website you go to? Omnichannel marketing. It's about being in all places and marketing in all places, marketing our products, our services to consumers wherever they may be. And so for a marketer, we have to make sure that we know where our customers are. We need to make sure we can reach out to them wherever they may be making that decision. Whether it is standing at the bus stop and those ads go by on the digital ad board, or just a normal ad that's there on the bus or the bus stop, or on their mobile phone or a website or in the store, we're marketing all the time. Because the thing is when we're marketing all the time, it's about sharing our information, but it's also about gaining information, learning from our clients. That's why when you download an app, they're like, oh, can we have this, this, and this permissions? Because they want to see what you're doing. Okay, it's not always good, but they are doing that because we want to see how are they doing it. Do we need to be on an Angry Birds app or Candy Crush app, or what do we need to be on? Like, what's the new app now, the new game that's popular? Let's see what's out there, and so we can be on that. Because the brick and mortar stores where we market there, when we're having that face-to-face stuff, that is part of your omni-channel strategy. So when people come to our stores, we can talk to them, market to them, but we've also got to market them in all other locations. So our website needs to have information about our products, our services, our prices, our delivery options, the sizing things. I mean, you want to get a t-shirt like this, you want to get your Wolters World t-shirt. Well, you know what? We got to make sure that we have it so people know what is an XL. Like I have a 2XL, so this is the size of a 2XL person, right? And so you have an idea. And so you want to make sure, because people want to make that decision beforehand, because if they can't tell if that 2XL is going to fit them, they might not order at all. So you want to have that information out there. So make sure your website is sharing that. And the thing is, it could be that you make when you look at omnichannel marketing, it's not just your website for a desktop. Make sure your website is good for mobile devices or for text, people sending stuff, and you have the links people can share. You make it as easy as possible for people to share that information and get that information about your products or services. Because we don't know when people are making their final decision to purchase. We just need to make sure when we do omnichannel marketing, we're having the information in all the channels. So in case someone is deciding via Twitter, or they're deciding via the website, or they're deciding when they're going to the store, they have the information they need to make the right purchasing decision, so they have a better experience, so they come back and shop with us again. Okay, so overall, what is omnichannel marketing? Omnichannel marketing is we're in all the channels. We're in the brick and mortar store. We're on the billboards. We're in the websites. We're in the mobile apps. We're doing all those things, okay? And not every company does all of them, but it's the opportunity to market in an omnichannel way that really makes a difference. So I hope this helps you understand better what omnichannel marketing is, because it is one of those buzzwords you do hear about marketing. And I wish you all the best. It's getting a little hot here in Georgia, if you can tell from my glisteningness. Anyway, I wish you all the best and have a great time. If you want more marketing videos, please do click that like button and do subscribe, because we put out new marketing videos all the time. And for my students out there, don't worry, there's plenty more for you to learn, because I think you're pretty much early in the semester, so you got a lot more to listen to. So I wish you all the best. I'll say bye from here on Tybee Island in Georgia. Hey there, fellow marketers, Professor Wolters here, and today what we're going to do is give you 5 ways that you can simply connect with your audience, because social media really gives you a great opportunity to connect with your audience. I mean, how many of you haven't gone like, oh my goodness, Justin Bieber wrote back to me, or Randy Santel said I ate food just like his. You have things like that that really get people pumped up. And there's 5 things that marketers can do, social media marketers can do, influencers can do, businesses can do to really kind of connect with your target audience in a better way using social media. And the first thing is use that Web 2.0 feature that social media has. And if you're not sure what Web 2.0 is that is the ability to interact with people online. It's not just me talking at you, it's us talking back and forth. You can comment on this video. I can talk back to you on there. I can comment on there. And that's the thing, is you see when you have that interaction with your fans or your followers or your brand's fans, they become more of fans. Like, wow, you actually wrote back. So use that social part of social media by being social with them. Because I see some brands that are pretty famous and influencers and stuff like that, and people will comment all the time, but they never comment back. I'm like, why are you even using this? Like, you're missing out on so much. So make sure you're being social on social media. Now, another thing you can do to kind of build up a connection with your target audience is really become a helpful member in various chats, Twitter, Reddit, YouTube stuff, all these kind of things. Because if you're someone that's consistently adding value in your comments, not saying, come look at my channel, hey, show support, sub for sub. No, not that crap. Don't do that. What you're doing is you're adding special things. Like, I'm here on Tybee Island, and if someone has a video on what to see and do on Tybee Island, maybe I comment, oh, hey, make sure you grab some stuff before you get here, because there's only an IGA and it gets overpacked. Though they have good sandwiches, so buy your stuff in Savannah before you come. Oh, cool, thanks for the tip, man. And so you're adding these helpful tips. Eventually, over time, people realize, hey, that Wolters World guy has offered a lot of helpful tips. I'll check out his page. I'll check out his channel. I'll check him out. And you can do that for your own business. I know for me, I found a lot of other YouTube channels. Rob from Trip Hacks DC was commenting, and we got talking. I ended up hiring him as a guy when we were in DC. Melinda and Grace from Gallivanting Gals. Liz and Derek from Means to Travel. I mean, I found them from good comments. You build that up. You build that connection with your audience. So do that, because you can make good friends. Mark Finley, good buddy of mine. Darian Glover, another good friend of mine. We became friends via the social aspects of this, and being helpful members, we got connected. So use that out there, and that helps you develop your brand advocates, okay? Shout out to Michael Mann as well. Can't leave him out. You know, Minnesota's got to represent on here, all right? Another thing you could do is really survey your social media audience. I mean, polls are the greatest thing. I mean, you'll get 50 comments on like, hey, what do you think about this? But if you say, hey, what's your favorite place to visit? Is it Florida? Is it California? Is it England? Is it Germany? You get 1,000 people that vote, because it's a lot easier. But the thing is, that interaction with your target audience is much more there by giving them that question, giving them that poll. These kind of things get people to feel that they're a part of the decision-making process. And that's why it's good to survey them. I mean, that's why one thing we do every year in our travels, we always ask our fans, hey, where would you like us to go? So we've ended up in Iceland, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Japan, going to Israel because our fans voted for it. And so that makes them feel more a part of what's going on. And so you want to do that for your social media. Get that interaction there. Survey them to figure out what they want. That's why you'll say is, hey, which new design of this toy do you like? Do you like it this way or this way? And you take that information and you go with it. And then it shows that your target audience, it shows them that you're actually listening to them, okay? And that's why it's really important that you spend time to reply and comment on people's posts. So if people put a review up about your business, you tell them the thank yous, or if they have an issue, you respond to that issue. I mean, if you look on TripAdvisor, you'll see different brands on there, and like some of them say nothing. Other ones, when they see upset customers, they'll respond back to them, trying to help them out. Happy customers telling them thank you, like, wow, you take the time to respond to people. That really means a lot. And I know I mentioned this before, and that use the Web 2.0 features of social media and be social, but now I'm really saying is spend the time to reply. I mean, we spend hours every week responding to our emails, responding to our comments and our tweets and our Facebook posts and stuff like that, because it means something. So use that to reach out to your audience. And the fifth thing I want to say about really simple things you can do to really connect with your audience, don't just say you care about your audience, show you care about your audience. And a lot of things I talked about really go into showing that. Because how many of you know influencers out there? They're like, oh yes, my audience, you guys are the best. I love you all. You're great. And you're like, yeah, you do. You don't respond to the texts. You don't respond to the emails. You don't respond to the comments. You don't do anything. You don't listen to anybody. You're totally tone deaf. You switch things up. That's not the way it is. Show them. And it could be you do live feeds to answer their questions. You have the Ask Me Anythings, the requests they send you for products or services. You develop those. That shows that you're being there. That shows that you care. That's why you see people share the picture like, here's another happy customer. Tell us why you like the product. How did it work for you? You're doing that. You're showing that you're engaging with them. And these are just 5 easy things that you can do to help build your brand online. So I really want you to think about these when you are doing your own social media for yourself or for your, more importantly, your business or your brand, because it really does make a difference. So I hope this helps, and I wish you all the best. Bye. Hey there, fellow marketers, Professor Wolters here, and today we're going to talk about our social media plans. This is your roadmap for your company's social media. So if you're trying to figure out what do we want to do with social media, what's our objectives, what's our goals, what platforms should we be on, who are we going to target, when are we going to release this stuff, who's going to make our content, this all goes into your social media plan. The content, who are we going to get stuff from? Are we going to curate things? I take stuff from other people and share it? What are we going to do? And when you're looking at your social media plan, what you have to realize, it really defines and clarifies what should and should not be on your social media, okay? And the thing is, if you're a company that has multiple brands, you might want to decide, okay, this one only talks about Coke, and this social media platform only talks about Fanta, and this social media platform talks about all of our brands out there. You might have that because you can have multiple social media plans for every single brand you have. Think about it. Movie studios have a different social media plan for each movie. Heck, they might have a different social media plan for the movie and then the DVD release later, right? And so we really want to think about is when we're laying out our social media plan, we're really saying what we want to do with each platform and who we're going to target. So it could be, we use our Twitter feed to just answer questions. We use our Facebook to let people know about deals. We use YouTube to let people see how to actually use our products and services and show like the happy customers. You really lay these things out in your social media plan. And when you're looking at the different platforms you're going to use and who you're targeting, you really want to explain why you're using that platform. Because right now, yeah, you're using Instagram to show visual content. But what happens when Instagram isn't as popular anymore? What you want to explain is we are going to be on the visual social media platform that's most popular for teens 13 to 18. Well, how often has that changed, right? I mean, at one time it was Facebook, and then it was Twitter, then it was Snapchat, and then it was Instagram, and now it's TikTok. And so if we have a thing that explains that we're going for this market and this is what we want to do on it, we might see that it'll go through and say, oh, it's time for us to switch from Vine to Twitter to this, okay? So that's why you really want to kind of lay out what you're thinking about doing. Not just saying we're only doing this platform, okay? Now, sometimes you might have in your social media plan an exact plan for a specific platform. That's okay. I just want you to have this kind of overall open mind. It's like, look, this is our visual platform. If all of a sudden this new social media platform that comes out becomes really popular, we can transfer over to that. Because as we've all seen, social media platforms switch like crazy. I remember spending all my time making my MySpace great, and then I switched to Facebook, and now I'm like, Facebook, well, do I even use that anymore? I mean, you have to think about those things when you're developing your social media plan. And that's why it's really important when you're developing your social media plan, you really lay it all out there, because if you lay it out there, this is what we're gonna do, this is what we're gonna share, these are the days we're gonna post, these are the times we're gonna post, these are the topics we're gonna talk about, these are the topics we're gonna share from, here are the companies and social media feeds we're allowed to share from. When you have that, it makes it a lot easier to run your social media, because one of the things you have to realize is, as much as we love Wendy's Twitter feed, it's not the same person making all those roasting tweets. It's these ideas, this social media plan behind it. These are the kind of things you should say. Here's the brand we want to portray on our social media. You lay that all out, so it doesn't matter who is the person actually typing things out or filming the videos. It's always on the same brand, right? It's always speaking with the same kind of words and mentality, because that's what's important. You have to realize is your social media is just an extension of your brand. So if your brand is, fit and trim and all kinds of stuff, well, that needs to go in your social media as well. And so put that into your plan. Because also, so many people cycle through in social media, it's actually kind of a popular first marketing job kind of thing, and then people promote out of it or grow out of it and someone else comes in. Well, we want to make sure we can leave it there so they sound like the people that were there before. Now, another thing is when you're looking at your social media plan, the scheduling part of it really helps you out, because then people really get to know when to expect that new content. So if you're looking at it, some channels say, look, we put out new videos every Wednesday, or we put out new videos the first Monday of the month. Back in the day, Epic Rap Battles of History used to be new videos every first Monday of the month. Great, we're gonna have a good time watching that, and you expect that. Because with social media, people get into a groove, they get into repetition, they get into a routine. And so if you have, 7 o'clock Saturday mornings, a new video comes out, people expect that. But also the algorithms like Google and YouTube and Facebook, they know that, a lot of people watch these videos on Saturday mornings at 7 o'clock. And so they're gonna share it then more often. So you wanna get people into that kind of groove. It's like back in the day when you had TV shows that would come out, every Thursday night at 8 p.m., the show is on. You have that. And the thing is with that, one of the things you want to think about is those theme days, Throwback Thursday, Way Back Wednesday, Motivation Monday, Chill Out Saturday, whatever. Those things actually help you come up with content ideas, because it works and people are expecting that kind of content at that time. You could have it, Super Happy Saturday, where you show a happy customer with their new product or after their new service. So you do that. And another thing is, when you're making your social media plan, realize that it's okay to repost old content. Because look, if you had a video, that you made, and you can share that on Twitter and you can share that on Facebook, and a few months later, if it's still good content and it's relevant, you can share that again. You don't have to make the new one all the time. Sometimes it's sharing something we already have. Because let's be honest, we miss content. I mean, how many of you will scroll on Instagram and then you kind of get 3 or 4 scrolls down, you're like, I'm good. If someone's at that 4th scroll down, you missed it. That's why it's really important you're scheduling. You look at your analytics and see what's the best time to schedule, so you're going to be putting stuff out there when people are actually watching. And I think when you're looking to develop your social media plan, it is okay to ask for help, because not everybody is a social media guru or expert, and sometimes we just need some help, some guidance. That's why we have tons of videos to help out. If you're a company or a brand, or you're a student that wants to be an influencer, we have a lot of videos that actually help you to grow that business and to figure out what you need to do. And it's okay to ask for help with social media. And I just want you to make sure you realize is when you're developing your social media plan, the whole overall idea, remember, is to build that community. So one thing you want to focus on the posts and things you're sharing and how you're developing your social media plan, is make sure you're really putting in the idea of conversation, okay? Because you want to have conversations with your community, because that's what's going to get them to build that community feeling, so when they eventually do shop, they do come to you, okay? So last little thing I want to say is just remember, with social media, it's all about the golden rule. You treat people well on social media, they'll treat you well back. So you want to think about that when you're putting together your social media plan, okay? So I just wanted to give an overall idea of what a social media plan is. To actually make a social media plan, we have another video that goes through all the parts that go into a social media plan. So I'd watch that video next, so you have an idea of what to do to really put together so you can make a social media plan for your own business. Bye. Hey there, fellow marketers. Professor Wolters here, and today what we're going to talk about is developing your social media plan. For those of you who don't know what a social media plan is, it's basically your guidelines for running the social media for your business, okay? And the thing is, when you're setting up your social media plan, what you start with is really setting out your goals and objectives for social media in general. What do you want to be online for? Why are you going to be on social media? What do you want to get out of it? Okay. And so when you start thinking about your goals and objectives, make sure that it's not just by itself. Make sure those social media goals are aligning with the overall marketing goals for your company or the brands you're going to be working with, because if you don't, then it can lead to some trouble. You want to have that kind of consistent message on social media as well as with traditional marketing. The thing is if you don't have an objective or goal with your social media, you're really not going to give yourself that focus you need to be truly successful. It's kind of like if you need to know where you're going to go on a destination in order to get there. It's not just like go north. Like, where am I going north? Oh, I'm going to New York. Oh, okay. Now I have an idea what I want to get done. So you want to kind of think of it that way. And once you start thinking about your goals, what you want to get out of it, the next thing you should do is really do an audit of your social media platform or your social media footprint right now. What social media platforms are you currently on? Are you on Facebook? Are you on TikTok? Are you on Instagram? What are the views you have? What's the engagement rate? How many likes are you typically getting? What's the reach that's out there? I mean, how many times do you get an impression on a post? You want to have an idea of where you are today. Okay, so do that social media audit. And we have videos that go over social media audits, so you can check those out to help you out. But you really want to get a basic overall idea of where are we now? Because then with our goals, hey, we can figure out where we want to go. We know we want to start here and we want to get there, but we need to know where we are now. So that's where that audit comes in. Next thing you want to look at is your audience. Who is your audience? Think about it, do we have different audiences on different platforms? Right? I mean, if I want to get a younger audience, I'm looking at Instagram, I'm looking at Snapchat, I'm looking at TikTok, these kind of things. If I'm looking for an older demographic, I'm going with Facebook and Twitter, right? If I'm looking for anybody and everybody, everybody's on YouTube. And so I have these different platforms out there based on those audiences. And the thing is, we want to engage with our audience, because the big thing with social media is being social. And that means engaging with your clients, engaging with your potential customers. And so think of it that way. In these platforms, how will I engage? What ways do clients on Twitter like to be engaged versus YouTube versus Instagram, and have an understanding of those audiences? And that's why it's important that you go through the demographics of your platforms you're already on, and you might see that, we want demographics. We want to reach out to this demographic. We want to reach out to the teenagers to start selling shoes to them, right? Well, we see that right now where Facebook and Twitter, which isn't really getting that audience. Maybe we need to go into a new platform, and that's why you analyze your audience. What are they using? Not just who's using you and your platforms, but the audience you want to be with. What are they using? So you have an understanding of that. And that's why it's really important that you're really open with your audience to have them share. If you find out that, actually, they like to hear about deals on their Twitter feeds, well, maybe you share deals on your Twitter feeds. That's why it's really important to have that engagement going back and forth to learn from your audience. And so once we have an idea of these audiences, then we can really evaluate which platforms we should be on and what we should be doing on each one of those platforms, because you may make different content based on the platform you're on. Obviously, with YouTube, you're making videos. With Instagram, you've got pictures, but we could also do infographics. With IGTV, we could do videos and stuff. With Facebook, there's different stuff we might do. And so what we want to do is we really want to assess these different platforms. So you might look at in terms of number of views on that platform. I mean, you have to be on Facebook because it's so big, right? So you have to have that. But then also you might look at the characteristics of that social media platform. TikTok has a much younger audience. If we want to go for them, we might want to go there. And so you kind of start evaluating the different platforms. And what's interesting is it's not just doing Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, things like that. You might actually see that your audience, there's actually a niche social media platform that is just for that group. You could have it where there is a social media platform that's just for specific travelers, or there's one that's just for people that love cigars, or the ones that just like model trains and stuff like that. Because what you want to do is really figure out the justification and reasoning why you should use each one of your platforms. Because one of the mistakes I see people make is they think they need to be on every single social media platform, and that ends up spreading them too thin. What you need to do is focus on the social media platforms that reach out best to your clients and your potential clients. That's where you should be. Not on everything out there, because it goes into the jack of all trades, master of nothing. It might help you to focus just on 3 or 4 or 2 or 3 of them. Some people only focus on one social media platform, but you have to think about what's going to work best for you and reaching out to your audience. And so once you figure out the platforms you're going to use, now we really have to look at is what we're going to do on each one of those platforms. Okay, so Twitter is us answering quick questions from our clients. YouTube is the how-to videos of how to put together our products. Facebook is where we share happy customers, pictures and stuff like that. You literally lay it out what you're going to be doing on each one of these platforms, because your social media plan is not just going to be used by you, it's going to be used by everybody that's using social media in your business. And so if you're not there that day, someone else can post things that fit with your brand and how your online brand is being seen. And another thing is, when you're looking at your platforms, you're on your social media plan, you're also going to list what you're going to do. Like, what pictures do you like, or what posts do you like? What do you retweet? What do you share, right? Because, how many times do you see people that put, retweets are not endorsements? You might want to look at it and say, who do we share from? And that's one of the things, if you look at your content strategy and your creation strategy, these are other videos, and these actually go in here. You put in your content strategy, like, what's the kind of stuff we're going to make, who we're going to make it for, what's the actually physical content that's going to happen, and curation is the stuff we're sharing from other people. You are going to list that in your social media plan. Now, that's way too much for you to go in this video, because this is a basic, so watch that video to get more information, but kind of think about that, like the content you're going to make. Then also the target group for each one of those platforms. Who am I going to be going for? And you might have multiple different groups you're targeting in a platform. So you're going to make content that's targeting each one of those different platforms or each one of those different audiences. So once you figured out the content and all that kind of stuff that you want to be making for the platforms, the next thing you're going to do with your social media plan is look at your social media scheduling. What is your calendar going to look like? When are you going to be posting? What days of the week? What time of the day? On which platforms? And what you'll do is you'll look at your analytics and see, when are more people on? Like, I'm going to post my travel videos at 7 a.m. on a Saturday, because 7 a.m. on a Saturday, people start researching their next trips, right? And so I put that out at that time, and I schedule it that way. But when do we put our blogs out? We put out blogs out every day, because people read their stuff at work. They'll read blogs during work. I mean, you get in trouble watching videos at work, but a blog can just be on the side, just kind of click it over. And so we do that. And the thing is, when you're making your social media schedule, part of it is like when we're going to post things and what time of day and who's going to do it. And you're going to be assigning those responsibilities, but also you need to think about the scheduling in terms of, when do we make this in order to have videos or have posts for this later date. So if I'm making, for example, I'm here in a beach town in Georgia, right? And I could film a beach video today, but it's the end of the beach season. So am I filming a beach video for this year when beach season's over, or am I saving that content for later? And you want to think about that. Like, hey, how do I use all this stuff so it actually fits? And so that's why when you look at your scheduling, it's not just your posts, it's also the schedule for creating the content that goes there. And the thing is, when you're setting up your social media plan, don't just assume that it's going to be fine. Once you start putting posts out there and you're starting to see, is this social media plan working? Is it not working? How do I change things? Because that's what's great about social media. You can try a lot of different things and see what works, because what works for one platform might not work on another. For example, for us, our YouTube videos work great at 7 a.m. on a Saturday, but our Facebook videos, no. They do better at 5 o'clock at night on Friday, which is actually the deadest time for our YouTube videos. Kind of crazy, right? And so you use that analytics and you start to learn about your social media plan and if it's working or not, and you make adjustments to it. And the thing is when you're making this social media plan, it gives you that direction that what you should be doing. You're kind of telling everybody what we're going to be doing with our social media and what we need to be looking for, the kind of content we're going to have, when we're going to do it, who we're going to be targeting. And the thing is it's not always easy to run your social media successfully. And the thing is, one of the mistakes I see a lot of companies do with their social media is they kind of assign it to someone else. Like, oh, hey, you're the new person here. You do the social media. You're young. You know how that social media stuff works. You do that. Well, here's the thing. If your job is paid to sell doors, you're going to make sure you're doing all the doors. And they say, oh, could you do social media on the side? Well, I want to make sure I sell all the doors I can to make my money, and then I'll do the social media. And if you put it on the side, it's not going to be a success. It needs to be front and center. You need to pay people to put the money into it to get social media to work. And we have videos on return on investment on social media and stuff like that, which is really kind of difficult to kind of factor in, because how much is it worth that people feel like they're a part of a community because of your social media? Like, how much is that worth? It can be tough to really, quantify. And so that's one of the things that sometimes there are issues with social media plans, because people are like, well, what's the benefit of this? Well, what's the benefit of people liking our products more and having a community? And when they do buy from us. That's one of the issues you might look at. But overall, I hope this helps you know how to kind of get a breakdown of how to make your own social media plan so you have it out there. So in short, set out your objectives, look at your audience, look at the platforms you're on, do an audit of what you're doing, see what platforms you should be on, the content you're going to create for those platforms, and who you're going to target with that, and then set up your schedule for doing that, and then analyze and control for what's working and what's not working so you can be a better success online. All right, so I hope that helps you out. I wish you all the best. Bye. Hey fellow marketers, Professor Wolters here, and today we are going to talk about the 4 E's of social media marketing in terms of making content, because you want to make sure you're kind of thinking about certain things when you're creating your content. And so these are the 4 E's I want to talk about. 1, you want to excite your customers, right? They got to be excited. They want to know, hey, what is this? This could be interesting for me. You need to educate them, teach them how to use your product, teach them about the benefits of your product. Also, we look at the E of experience. Help them experience your product through social media so they're more interested in actually buying it or using it or getting to know more about your brand. And the 4th E is engage. We want them to do something, okay? And so if I look at this first one, this excite part, okay, this excite E, what we're doing here is we're figuring out what's going to excite our clients, what's going to get them to pay attention. So if you think about excite, well, you got to be on the platforms they're on, right? Like, oh, you're on Instagram. Oh, you're on YouTube. Hey, these are the things that I use. And that's going to excite them. But the thing is, it's not just being on the platform. Yeah, it's nice you're on YouTube, but I need something more that excites me. And that's why you need to know the needs, the wants, the desires, the demands of your customers, because if you know those, then the offers you put out kind of fit with that, and that will excite them too. Because the more relevant your offers are, the more relevant the stuff you're sharing on social media is, the more likely they're going to be kind of buying into it. Okay, so that's really important to think about. That's why you want to make sure you're using your analytics so you can see what works, what does get people to click on there. That's why clickbait is so effective, because they know it gets you to click on it. Little kid and the grizzly bear together. What happens next? You'll never know. It excites you. Like, I want to click on here and see what's next. So we got to think about that excite thing. Okay. Now, the second E is this educate. Okay. And so we want to educate customers or potential customers or social media followers about our products. We might be telling them, hey, this is our value propositions. These are the reasons why our products are good. We're teaching them about our products. Okay. We're not having them use the products. We're just teaching them. This website gives you marketing and business videos to help you learn. Right? It's not a thing like helping you run a company while you can see me running the company. No. We're just looking at educate. We're trying to teach them, let them know things. Because we really want to educate them about our potential offerings and how our potential offerings could be perfect for them. Because that's just it. If you're not sure, it's like, well, is this the right thing for me? Well, this exercise program is based for a busy father who's got 2 kids who never stop going and has a full-time job and all this other stuff, but we can help you lose weight. I'm like, oh hey, I'm listening. I'm busy. I got a couple kids. Yeah, what do I need to do? That educate kind of thing to let them know that this could be the right thing for them. That's what you want to be doing. Because the thing is, they might not know the benefits of your products, so it's good to educate them about them, teach them about that. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is experience. You want to help them experience your product. You want them to see like, oh, I understand what this is. I can see myself in that spot. So here, you're helping them kind of experience. So this is when universities have students like kind of vicariously show everyone what it's like to be a student there. Here's my daily life. Here's my daily classes. Here's what the food is like at the cafeteria. So then people can kind of feel like they're experiencing it. And so the thing is sometimes people it gets a little confusing when we're looking at educate versus experience. Okay, so educate, we're more telling them, this is what we do. Experience, we're letting them live vicariously through us, okay? And so you might see that, like in the exercise, going back to the exercise example, when they have people like show their success videos, this is me before and after, and here was me doing the exercise. People can see themselves in that position. Oh, yeah, that guy was a fat middle-aged dude. Now he's in shape. I'm a fat middle-aged guy. Maybe I could do that. I can experience his thing. I can experience the product by looking at seeing what they did. And then that fourth E is engage. You want people to engage. You want them to do something. Whether it is, hey, click subscribe, or hey, why don't you hit that like button? Or hey, why don't you order a shirt? These kind of things are what you're thinking about to get them engaged, to get them to do something, okay? Because you want some kind of action to be done by the people that you are, sharing your social media posts with. Because when we engage with a customer, then they're more likely to buy because it feels like, hey, we're building this relationship. And that's what you're doing. You're engaging with them, building that relationship so they're more likely to purchase or do what it is you want them to do in terms of that engagement, that action that you want to happen. Okay, so these are just kind of 4 things you might want to think about when you're looking at the kind of content to make for your social media, because you know what? Sometimes you're just out there to let them know that, hey, we're here. We're trying to excite them to realize we're here. Sometimes you want to educate them. This is what our product does. Okay, this is how it is. Then you might want to help them experience it. Oh, if you want to come visit beautiful Idaho, this is what it looks like when you're here. Or you want to get them engaged. Hey, click subscribe, click like. All right, so I hope this can help you understand better about different social media posts that you can make. If you want to learn more, hit that subscribe button. We put out all kinds of new social media marketing videos and other business videos to help people learn more. And I'll say bye from here in beautiful Idaho. Hey there, fellow marketers, Professor Wolters here, and today we're going to talk about how your website can actually kind of destroy goodwill when it comes to your business. Because we've all gone to a website that made us go, should I actually be giving them my credit card number? But we've also been to websites that have inspired us to buy more stuff. And what we're going to focus on here are those things that really make us go, should I really be shopping here? Okay, and the first thing you need to realize, if you really want to destroy goodwill on your website and really destroy goodwill in your business, have an amateur website. If it looks like crud, if it looks like it's something from 1995 or heck, even 2015 these days, you're like, man, I don't know if I really feel comfortable working with them. And the thing is, it's not necessarily that it looks like it's from 1995. It could be grammar mistakes, spelling mistakes, all kinds of stuff. I mean, think about it. When you get those emails from Amazon that says your account's been hacked, or eBay that's saying you need to give us your number to sign in to make sure everything's okay, and there's spelling mistakes and there's grammar errors, you're like, that's spam. That's not the legit stuff. And you don't want people to have that impression when they go to your site. So make sure you're doing the grammar checks, you're doing the spelling checks, you're doing the, let sure all the links work right, because dead links and stuff like that also make you look bad. So make sure everything is kind of cleaned up. Another thing that really diminishes goodwill on your website is if you hide information that customers want to know. So if you're an airline and you know that there's a big storm coming or a hurricane coming or something like that, that will obviously impact, flights in a certain part of the country or a certain part of the world, you might want to have easy information out there to let people know. It's like, hey, if you're flying to Florida during this hurricane season, here's some issues you might want to think about, because you want to give that information. Don't hide it. I know more than a few years ago in Iceland, one of the volcanoes exploded and it affected flights throughout Europe. And people were like, is my flight going to fly? I don't know what's going on. And we were supposed to fly EasyJet, and they actually had a ticker on their main site. If you are flying from these airports, do not expect to fly today. If you're going to these airports, you should be okay. I mean, it was right there. Thank you for sharing that information. But if it's hidden, it gets people really upset. What do I need to do? What do I need to look out for? That's why people get upset when you have those hidden fees you don't talk about. I remember back in the day when you used to be able to fly with Ryanair and some of these other cheap airlines in Europe, and you'd buy your ticket and it would be, €1 for your ticket to Rome. I'm like, oh, cool, €1 ticket. You put your information in, €1 there, €1 back, €2 there, and then, yes, I'm ready to buy, and it's like €150. You're like, wait. You said it was €1 each way. Oh yeah, the ticket is, but all the taxes and the fees and all this other stuff, you're like, oh man. So it's not really $1 each way. There's a lot more stuff involved. And if you hide those things, like the baggage fees and all that stuff, that can really turn people off. So don't hide those things, all right? Now, another way you can really turn people off and really diminish goodwill is if you ask for too much personal information. Now, I know we need personal information when we are going to be asking for stuff. We do need the credit card number and your address and things, and maybe we want them to sign up for our program, get your email and password. But do you need to know their birthday? I mean, if you're selling alcohol, yes, but do we need their birthday? Do we need to know their favorite color? Do we need to know their Scorpio sign? Why do you need all this information? Because the more information you're giving, one, it gives people to go, why do they need that? But also, if you get data hacked, then that's even more information you've lost from people that's going to make them even more upset. So make sure you're only asking for things that you actually need. Going a little bit farther gets people to go, do they really need to know that? And that kind of goes into another thing, is whenever you opt people into a program, I mean, this is actually depends on what country you're in, because some countries have rules and laws that say, look, people have to select that they want to get the email. Whereas in some countries, you're already selected. If you buy this product, it already has that check mark checked. Yes, I would love to receive your emails and flyers and stuff like this. You're like, wait, I don't want that. Look, don't automatically opt people in. Let them choose to opt in to get stuff. If you want to like entice them to do that, oh, hey, free shipping. If you agree to get our newsletter, to get on our email list, do that. But don't automatically do it, because that really does kind of, turn people off. Because sometimes when you do that, you automatically do stuff or automatically enroll people in things that can upset them. I remember there was a U2 album that came out on iTunes that everybody got in their iTunes library, and people were like, dude, what the hell, Apple? I mean, I didn't want that album. Why'd you put it there? I mean, I like U2, so I was happy with it. But my wife's like, she doesn't like U2 at all. Like, we've been married for over a decade, and I only get to listen to U2 when we're like, I'm driving by myself, like a state away. Then I get to listen to it. So she wasn't too thrilled with that. So you got to think about these things when you're automatically doing stuff and you're automatically signing people up for things. Now, another thing you could do that will really kind of upset your customers is if you punish them for not doing things your way. I mean, how many of you have filled out a huge long form online to buy something or register for something, and there was like one mistake in it, and then it restarts and you're back to zero? You're like, oh man, I got to fill in 30 forms again? Forget it, I'm going to leave. No, don't punish people for messing up, because just because they don't do it your way doesn't mean it's wrong, okay? So make sure you do have it where, oh, you filled this out and there was a mistake. Only highlight the one area where there's something missing or something needs to be redone. So if you think about it, probably the one time you'll see this the most is when you're looking at dates, when you're going to buy a plane ticket or a bus ticket or a train ticket. Do they ever let you put the date in? Like July 4th, 2021. Do they let you put in 7/4/21? No, you put in on a calendar pops up and then you select the date on the calendar. Why? Well, depending where you live in the world, the dates are written differently. In the US, it's month, day, year. In most of Europe, it goes day, month, year. But then if you go to Russia and China, it goes year, month, day. And so it can be really kind of confusing. Can you see how that can cause some confusion? That's going to make some messed up goodwill, because you know what? I've made that mistake before, and I was like going like, oh, it's July 8th. So it's, 7/8 or 8/7. Totally bought the wrong ticket, and I'm like, oh man, it's because I didn't realize it. And that was back in the days when you put the numbers in. Now they've realized, look, let's not punish them for not knowing which calendar we like to use. And then I think the last little thing that would be kind of important to kind of, if you're going to diminish goodwill, is if you don't have your site set up to be mobile friendly, or if you have forms that people need to fill out, make sure there's a PDF document kind of way that they can just print off and fill themselves, or you can autofill the stuff. Give them those options to make it easier for them, because if you're giving them more work, they're not going to be happy, and that's going to diminish goodwill. All right, so I hope these are things you're not doing on your website, so you can actually help out. We actually have another video that goes through specific things you can do to build up the goodwill, so check out that video to learn more. And I'll say bye from here on Tybee Island. Hey there, fellow marketers, Professor Wolters here, and today we're going to talk about how you can build goodwill for your brand via your website. Because your website really is an extension of your brand and your business. Even if you think you're a brick and mortar store, no. Your website is a definite part of things. So let's figure out some ways that you can build that goodwill. And really what it starts with is really doing your marketing research and look at your analytics in there and see what people want from your site. Ask them, what would you like to do from our site? Do you want to be able to order? Do you want to be able to talk to client personnel? Do you want customer service on there? What is it you're looking for? Because when you do that and you start to understand what people want from your site, you can deliver what they want. And that's where you're going to build goodwill, giving them content that they actually want. So that's why you'll see ESPN, on their site when it comes to fantasy football. They know that people want their fantasy football information throughout the fall and early winter because they're playing fantasy football. And that's going to be on the main page, easy to get to, because they know that's what people want. You're making it easier for me. Thank you so much. That's why my thing for you is, what are the 3 things that people search the most on your website? And if there's 3 things that they're really searching the most, make sure you have links to all 3 of those things on your main page, because that's what most people are coming to search for and they're not finding it. So it's right there for them. Click, I can go right away. I don't have to search. It's made easy for me. That builds goodwill. And when you're giving people content, the next way you can actually build goodwill is really make sure you tell visitors what they want to know. So for example, if you're buying gifts for the holidays, you want to know, will this get here in time for the holidays? Because if it doesn't, it's no longer a holiday gift, it's a Valentine's Day gift. I know for me, I got my wife this cast iron skillet I was hoping for Christmas last year. Unfortunately, I ordered it and about a week later, like, oh yeah, it's gonna come in February. I'm like, oh. So I went from a great Christmas gift to a really great Valentine's Day gift? Not what I was looking for. If they would have told me that, then I would have planned accordingly. So give people that information. Be upfront with them, with shipping times, with taxes, with timelines, things like that do make a difference for people. So share that information. Tell them what they want, especially when these things are going to impact people. That's why if there's strikes or if there's pandemics going on, you want to put that information out there to say, this is how this pandemic or this crisis or this strike will affect your potential service from our company, okay? Even though it's sharing bad news, it's sharing things people want to know, and that builds goodwill. Now, another thing that builds goodwill and helps you make sales faster is make sure you're cutting out as many clicks as possible. That's why when I said, what's the most searched thing? What's your most popular stuff? Have that on the main page so it's easy to get, because every click people have to do is a click they might not make. That's why you don't want to make it 10 clicks to buy a product. You want 3, maybe 4 clicks maximum until people actually buy your product. That's why you have the buy now button. That's why the cart button is in the corner all the time. That's one of the things I always get upset with, is when companies send me, oh, here's the UPS code. You can go search when it's going to be delivered. I'm like, would it take you that much more to make the link for me? So I just click it, it shows me. I don't want to have to copy, paste it onto another thing, especially when I'm on my phone. I mean, how many of you like to copy and paste from your phone? Yeah, it doesn't work that well, right? And so let's make it easier for people. Do that so it's easy for them to figure out that information and save them that click, because that's one less annoyance they have. And another thing that really will build goodwill is if you put the effort into your website. I mean, you can tell when people have a good website, you're like, dang, that looks good. Like, I trust that website. I want to go back to that website. Other ones, you're like, oh, it's such a pain. Why would I ever do that? Like in sports, Bleacher Report, their app is fantastic. Their website, I'm like, I don't want to learn about sports ever again. Give me the app. You have to realize that sometimes those things will turn people off because the effort isn't the same. And so make sure you're putting that effort in. Make sure it's a website that looks good. I know I do a social media marketing course, and I see the students that put the effort into the website and the ones that don't. You're like, you're getting a better grade because you put that effort into that blog. That is awesome. Yeah, the words are nice, but it's on a blah template. I mean, think about it. Do you like it if your professor just has the plain PowerPoint slides, white background, black letters, nothing there? No. You're like, could you at least put a template in there to make it look nice? These kind of things build goodwill, shows that you care about your clients. And the last thing I'd say to build goodwill, and there's a lot of things you can do to build goodwill, but the last one I want to talk about is just having all those little extras, right? Like make sure you have printer-friendly pages if it's something they've got to print out. Make sure you have a mobile-friendly version, so if they're going from their, if they're looking on their phone, it's easy to view, because no one likes it when you have like the desktop version on a phone. It just never works that way. You do these little things, have those frequently asked questions put together, have a forum for people to talk. You do those things, those little things, it helps build goodwill. It's like, wow, they knew what my question was going to be and they already have an answer. Thank you so much. Because that's just another version of good content. Because overall, remember, content is always king when it comes to social media and it comes to websites and stuff like that. People want good stuff, and building goodwill comes down to it and a lot of different things, but really what it is just building good content and having good content for people that they can access. That's going to build some goodwill. All right, so I wish you all the best, and I'll say bye from here on Tybee Island. We actually have a video that goes through some of the ways you can destroy goodwill from your website for your brand, so you might want to check that out to make sure you're not making any of those mistakes. Anyway, I wish you all the best, and I'll say bye from here on Tybee. Hey there, fellow marketers. Professor Wolters here, and today we're going to talk about is how you can help your clients not think when they're on your website. Because I know this sounds really, really bad, but the more you make your clients think, the more likely they're going to walk away. Okay, so you want to make it as simple as possible for them. when they're on your website to purchase, to find information, to understand what your offerings are, to find anything out they want. You want to make it as simple as possible, because the more complicated it gets, the more hurdles you're putting in front of your clients, okay? And this isn't about clients being stupid or clients not knowing things or tricking clients. No, this is making the online user experience as easy and simple as possible for people to buy or get information or whatever you want them to know, or whatever, more importantly, what they want to know, they can do it as quick as possible, okay? And one thing you have to start thinking about is thinking about your site overall. If your site is cluttered, if there's tons of stuff all over, I mean, if I put 10,000 different things on this video right here, you're not sure where to focus, okay? You want to make sure that you actually group your information together so it makes sense. I mean, this is one of the things I really enjoy about sports websites. They'll actually kind of group things together. Here's today's highlights. Here's today's big news. Here on this part has our, special features or whatever. They do that so it's easier to figure things out. It's not trying to look all over the place to figure out where something is. It's like, oh, there's the top news of the day. Here's the highlights. I've got it, okay? So that's one thing. Cluttered site isn't good. You want to make sure you're grouping that information to make it easier for people to find, therefore an easier, better online experience. Now, another thing you want to make sure you're not doing is you do not want to make your clients feel unsure about what they're supposed to do. That's why you see that little shopping cart up in the corner all the time on all these different websites. Why? Because they know that you know that shopping cart button, click, means it's time to buy. That's my stuff I'm buying. It's simple, okay? Because if you leave them unsure, if they're not sure where they need to go to check out, that can lead to problems. So make it really clear and make everything clickable that should be, because you might just have it written down, oh, for the slides, click here. But if you write it out, I mean, I've had students that didn't know to click there. You need to have that big red button. Ooh, a big red button. I'm like Doctor Who. I gotta hit the big red button whenever I see one. And so you had to think about that in terms of, hey, is it obvious what they need to click? Because if it's not obvious and they're looking around, they're not sure, they might not click on the right thing. That's why you have click here to buy. Buy now. Boom. You have that button there. Add to cart. Add more. You leave it out there. And that's one of the things is Amazon is very successful in terms of making it very clear. This is what you're buying. Here's the number you're going to buy. Here's the other information you have. It's all kind of grouped together. It's put together well that you know what you're doing and it's not unclear. So make sure you're doing that. Make sure it's clear what is clickable and do not leave the visitor unsure, because an unsure visitor is like, do I go in here? It's kind of like when you're a kid and you're going to trick-or-treating, you're like, the light's not on, so, okay, I shouldn't go. I know that. You want to make it obvious. Like, wait, their door light's off, but their lights in their house are on. Do we go up? I'm not sure. You don't want that confusion. Now, I keep talking about the shopping cart, and you want to make sure you have the shopping cart everywhere. Now, I'm not saying like 900 times on the same page, but on every single page on your website, you have that, because you never know when people are going to say, you know what, I'm ready to buy. Like, people buy when they're ready to buy, not when you think they're ready to buy. That's why it's really important. And so that's why it's important to not make it unclear how the buying process is. Just make it like, oh, add to cart. I mean, that's a really nice thing. Buy now. You have that, okay? Because sometimes what you'll see is I've gone on some websites and like, oh, that's kind of cool. Can I buy that? Like, what's the thing that's on sale? When you'll have like the model will be on there and they'll have a fancy outfit on and jewels and stuff like that. You're like, which thing is on sale? Is it the bracelet? Is it the necklace? Is it the watch? Is it the earrings? Is it the hair gel? I don't know. Is it the shirt? You want to make sure that all of it is very clear what is for sale, which things are going to. Because how many of you have bought things and then when it arrives, you're like, wait, I thought it came with more. Like, I bought a green screen, okay, for our channel to use. I haven't used it yet, but I will use it. And it was funny because the green screen came, but it didn't come with the bars that hold it up. And in the pictures it had all the bars and all the holding up stuff. And like, yes, buy this. I'm like, wow, that's really cheap for a green screen setup, but okay, we'll get it. Really nice green screen, but there was nothing else to it. And I'm like, oh, I got to buy that separate. But it wasn't clear. You want to make sure everything is clear. And that's why when it all comes down to it, you just want to make it really easy for people to understand what you're looking for. Because if you make people really have to think really hard about what they should be doing, it can lead to confusion. That's why you have the buy now. That's why it says careers at. Like, oh, I want to get a job at this place. Oh, careers at EY. I will click on that. If they have Joborama or, hey, you want to join us or learn more about being with us. Like, learn more about being with us. Is that a working thing? Is it volunteer? I'm kind of confused. Oh, careers at EY. that's where I'm going to go. That's much more easy to understand. Okay, so make it easy for me to understand and don't make people overthink things. Okay, so these little tips here, they're not just, ways to make people buy your stuff faster. I mean, it does help them buy faster because it helps them make their decisions quicker and makes their decision process clear for them when they want to purchase things. But overall, it's just a good idea for your website and your web presence to not make people overthink. Because think about it, we're scrolling through quickly. We're making decisions quickly on stuff. And if you got too many things there, people just go, you know what, I'll just go to somebody else. So I thought these are a couple little tips that might help you out to make your website a bit better. If you want to learn more, we got plenty more videos out there. So have a great day and bye from Tybee Island in Georgia. Hey there, fellow marketers, Professor Wolters here, and today what we're going to talk about are the do's and don'ts of word-of-mouth marketing, because buzz marketing, word-of-mouth marketing, this is how things grow, because you want people to share their good experiences with your products and services, so it kind of expands faster. Because let's be honest, we all trust our friends' review way more than some commercial we see online, right? And so we want to think about that. And so when I go through these do's and don'ts, I just want you to have these in mind when you're thinking about helping your clients spread the good word about your product or service. And I think the first thing you definitely need to do is use feedback to pay back your customers. That means responding to their reviews, responding to their comments, telling them thank you for their subscriptions, and all these kind of things, because by doing that, you're really showing that support to them. You're giving that feedback, but it's saying, hey, there you go. And think about it. How many times have you posted something on a YouTube video or a Facebook chat or something like that, and then the person responds or the brand responds, you're like, oh, that's really nice of you, and it makes you want to share more. So do make sure you are sharing that feedback and using that as a way to kind of pay them back. Another thing with word of mouth marketing, you need to be open. You have to allow for the good and the bad when it comes to comments, into reviews and things like that. Because here's the thing. If all the reviews are 5-star reviews and everything sounds great, do people really trust those reviews? I mean, I'm sorry, nothing is all 5 stars. There are people that get a cold meal. There are the people that aren't super happy with their dish. These things do happen, so it's not all 5-star. If you make it so we only accept 5-star reviews, well, then it's not really legit. I mean, I know for eBay sellers and Amazon associate sellers and all those kind of things, Amazon partners, I've gotten it where they've sent me stuff like, oh, if you don't like the product, let me know, and before you don't give me a 5-star, and we'll try to fix it. Otherwise, I'll give you a bad review as a buyer. And I'm like, what the hell? That's not open. I can't trust you. You don't want that. You want to be open. You want to be accepting of the good and the bad, because you can grow from that. And going along with that, another do I have for you is always demand honesty. You want them to be honest about your product because, one, you can learn what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong from them. So have that honesty out there. And to help them share their honest stories, another do we have for you is definitely help your customers tell their stories. You'll see all these weight loss programs and stuff online. I mean, obviously I need to do some, but what they'll do is they'll send you, their workout DVDs or their diet plans, and they go, oh, make sure you take your measurements, and they'll like, make sure you take your picture. There's the front, there's the side, there's the sexy. They do that so they know that, hey, if we take the really fat, not flattering pictures like this, and then we get you the turn, which makes you look thinner later on, if you actually succeed in the diet, then they already have the stuff that allows them to share their stories. I'm helping them share their stories. Back in the day, Beachbody with their P90X routines and stuff like that, when they would buy the DVDs, it would come with a chart. Where were you on the first week, the 7th week, when you finished? And so you could like track it, and then people would make their own videos to say what their adventure was. And so you have that. Now the thing is, helping customers tell their story is different than telling them what to say, okay? So one of the don'ts I have for you is don't plan, okay? Don't plan on what you want people to say with the word of mouth. Don't script what you want people to say, because what happens when you script what you want them to say, it sounds like a script. It sounds like a script read by somebody who's not an actor, and therefore it comes like, yes, this was the best product ever. It changed my life. Woohoo, I feel much better now. No, it just seems fake, and that really destroys that buzz marketing, that word of mouth, and it looks fake, and that just kind of ruins it. So remember, demand the honesty, let people do their own thing. So no scripts, no plan when you're doing it. And another thing is, when you're using that word of mouth marketing, don't sell. Here's the thing. People doing those exercise routines and those exercise DVDs, they don't tell you to go buy this DVD set. They say, look, here's my experience. We're using this workout routine. And that sells itself. The achievement that people have of losing the weight, you don't need to tell people to buy it. They already see it worked. Wow, it worked for my friend Bob. Maybe it can work for me, right? And so you do that. And that's what sell it. Not telling me go buy. No. You don't want that. Word of mouth marketing isn't go buy. That's advertising. Sharing people's stories, that's word of mouth marketing. So help them do that. And the last don't I have for you, and there's a lot more things we can talk about with word of mouth marketing, but I just want to get some of the basics out there, is don't ignore people. Word of mouth marketing is shared because, like I said, use that feedback. If you ignore them, you upset the people that are upset even more. But the people that truly appreciate your product, that would be glad to share it, they're no longer going to share it because they don't see the point if you don't care that they're sharing it, right? So don't ignore them. Listen to them. And the thing is not everyone's going to be happy with your product, but you know what? If you listen to them and you make the corrections and you fix things, you actually could get those customers that are really upset with you to be a big fan of yours because it showed that you listened and you changed things. I know we've had some pretty mean comments over the years, and I've answered people's questions. They're like, oh, now I see what you were doing. We did a music video years and years ago about, it was, the American Idiot, da-na-na-na. It was a Green Day song. I did a Portuguese Idiot song, right? And in there, like, this one guy got it, he's like, you're horrible. You deserve the same fate as Saddam Hussein. I mean, that's how long ago it was. And I'm like, whoa, that's pretty rough. And I wrote him out. I was like, hey, I just want you to know this is a parody song. And I sent him like Canadian Idiot by Weird Al, and I showed American Idiot by Green Day. And then the guy's like, oh, I get it now. Right, I'm sorry. He became a huge fan. For years, he was sharing our videos, So it's amazing, like, if you don't ignore people and you actually talk to them, how it can really get them to share your content, share your business, share your ideas and stuff that really can help out. So I hope this helps you know a few of the do's and don'ts of word of mouth marketing so you can help grow the buzz around your product or brand or service or website or whatever. So I wish you all the best, and bye from here on windy Tybee Island. Hey there, fellow digital marketers, Professor Wolters here, and today we're going to talk about service in a digital marketing world. Because a lot of companies don't realize is that your website, that's what's giving service. That is your customer service to today's digital customers. It's no longer the person walking in the door, hey, how may I help you? Now it's that website that pops up. And so we're going to give you some tips in order to have a better kind of service experience for your customers when they come to your website. And one thing I really got to get off the bat, this is probably the most important thing of all, is limit the number of clicks that your customers have to click. Look, if you go to a site like a sports site like ESPN, what do? They have the main stories of the day right in the center. They have the scores at the top because those are the things that people most want to see. Oh, that's the biggest story today. Click on it right away. One click. Oh, I got the story. The scores, I can look right there. You don't want people to have to search and try to find things and click 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. No way. You don't want people to go more than 4, maybe 6 clicks to find something very, very, very specific. Honestly, if you're looking at selling stuff, when people want to buy, you want to make it a max of 3 clicks out. Why? Think about it. Every extra click is a chance for people not to click and leave the website, okay? So make sure you're doing what you can to eliminate all the extra clicks. That's why you'll have the buy now option sometimes on some sites. Instead of having to go and put into your cart, go to this later, we'll have those things. They'll actually make it quicker. That's why Amazon is so awesome with their one-click shopping. I mean, think about it. You see it, you click it once and it's done. You don't have time to go, do I really need this? I'll put it in my cart for later. No, you've already purchased it, okay? Because more clicks equals more chances they're going to leave. And leading on with that, another tip I have for you is realize that browsing, searching, buying, it should be simple and it should be easy. I mean, your grandma should be able to figure this thing out and buy it online, no problem. My little kid should be able to go online, figure it out, no problem, and buy it. Now, I'm not saying that's an ageism thing that old people don't know and young people don't know. No, it just needs to be simple and intuitive so people understand, oh, this is how I buy. Because here's the thing, if you have it hidden, oh, yes, place in the satchel of superior products. What the heck is that? Oh, put it in the cart? All right, okay, I got it now. You don't want to make it more complicated for people. Make it simple. That's why you'll see, oh, when you browse, they'll give you all of the basketball scores at the same time together. Or if you're looking at shoes, they'll show, you're looking at these boots, here's some other boots you might like. That's why when you go to Amazon and you click on a product, down below it says other people bought these products as well. May we recommend these products as well? It does that so you don't have to search for other boots or other products. They're already giving you those things to make it easier for you when you're online. Because if you're going to make your clients think and you're going to make it complicated for them, you'll be surprised how many clients just walk away because they don't want to have to think about it. Make it as simple and as easy for them as possible with your website. Now, another thing that's going to help you with your website, with the service side of it, is make sure you have fast load times on your web pages, okay? Because when that product's coming up, it needs to be instantaneous, because when people are waiting, a slow website gets people to click away. You want to make sure those things load fast. So make sure you're doing speed tests on your website to make sure, hey, are we loading quickly? Because if you got a bad, load time, people are going to move away. It's taking too long to be here. Okay, so kind of think about that. And another thing that you might see where people leave is when you try to put too much stuff between them and them giving you their money. This is one of those things you see in real service. Think about it. You'll wait to get seated at a restaurant. You'll wait to get the menu. You'll wait to order your drinks. You'll wait for your food. But when you want to leave now. And it's the same thing when you're online. Look, if I've got the product and I say I want to check out, let me check out right away. Don't put that subscribe to our newsletter to learn more. Do you want to hear some other products you might want to buy? I don't want that. I want to buy the thing I just clicked on and want to buy that. Here's the thing. I realize getting that subscription list is great because you can send out more email marketing campaign stuff, but for your clients, it's annoying. And when they are annoyed, they don't buy. So make sure you're not adding any extra layers between when they want to buy and when they actually are buying. Okay, so watch out for that. And kind of going along with that, in order of making things easier for them to shop, another tip I have for you is always make sure you give them the option to save their information. Whether it's their credit card, whether it's their address, whether it's their name, all those kind of things. That really makes it a lot easier for people because then they don't have to type it all in. Because think about it, if you're on your computer, you can type real quick. It might actually have it auto-save and put it in there with Chrome or something like that. But other times, you're like, man, I got my phone. Do I really want to type in my 19, character address and all this stuff? I'm like, I don't remember my super secret PIN number or thing like that. Look, make it easy. Let them save their information. Also, let them delete their information too, but make sure you have that option for them to save their information for the next time they come. And my last tip when it comes to good service in digital marketing is if you're delivering products, make sure you match your delivery promise. If you say next day shipping, you better make sure it's there the next day. Or if it's free 2-day shipping, make sure it's getting there in 2 days. Right now, you notice there's no lavalier mic here. I ordered it a week ago with Amazon Prime, and it should have been there in 2 days. It's still on the truck for delivery. After a week, what the heck? You got to think about these things, because if you don't keep to your delivery promise, well, then your whole website, I can't trust that. I'm going to look somewhere else. That's why delivery is really kind of a key aspect of this. That's probably one of the reasons why Amazon has their own delivery service in certain places, so they can make sure they can deliver in that day, or in some places within a couple hours and stuff like that. So just think about that, because you really want to have happy customers, because whether it's a retail store or an online store, happy customers are returning customers, and returning customers are how you make a lot of money. Okay? Because new customers, they're expensive to get. Returning customers, hey, those are the ones that really make a difference. So I hope that helps, and I hope you get to deliver some really good service marketing in your online website, and I wish you all the best. Bye. Hey there, other internet users. Mark here. And have you ever wondered, why is it when I click on the list of are your favorite Nickelodeon stars and where are they today, that when I click, it shows me number 1, and then I gotta click and go to another page for number 2, and then I gotta click and go to another page for number 3, and I never get to see what number 7 is even like. You ever wonder why they do that? It's about money. And what we're going to talk about today is why they do that, and how that websites actually do make money off of advertising, and the different kind of advertising they might actually have on their website. So now you have an idea of why they make you click 400 times through to see that whole list, all right? And the first thing I want to talk about is that one where those blogs make you click on 15 different pages and have 15 different pages open up for you to actually get your list. What they're doing is called CPM, cost per 1,000. Okay, that's what they're going for. And what CPM is basically a website agrees with an advertiser, and the advertiser says, look, I will pay you $10 for 1,000 impressions of my ad on your website. And so for them to get, for that website to get the $10, they need 1,000 impressions. And how do we get more impressions? Well, we make people click from link to link to link. Because you notice on those lists, it always seems like the ads pop up first, and then you get to see like number 2, click again, ads pop up again, and then number 3. They do that because then that's another impression. Remember, an impression is anytime something shows up on a website, that's called an impression, okay? So if you're watching this on YouTube and you look over there at all those videos, suggested videos things, each one of those showing up, that's an impression, okay? So you're paying, I'll pay you $10 for 1,000 impressions. So this can be very helpful for advertisers that just want to get the word out. Look, we just want people to see our ad 1,000 times, okay? We just want to get it out there everywhere. I don't care who sees it, I don't care where they see it, I just want them to see it. So we're trying to build awareness maybe for a movie. Have you ever noticed when the summer blockbusters are starting, your YouTube, your Instagram, your Facebook, your normal websites, the banner ads are start showing ads for that video? Yeah, because all they care about is getting people to know that it's coming, okay? So that's why the advertisers that do this are ones that want to build awareness. And usually you'll see it a lot on small blogs and small websites, because for them, they're like, well, I don't know if I can get people to come here a lot to buy stuff, but at least I'm getting some money because at least the ad shows up. And so if they're not sure they could like sell things and stuff like that, just having that impression there can help them make money. So you'll see them do things like that. You know, Google AdWords has CPM, or you might see that in front of like a YouTube video. They have videos that just pop up and you're like, okay, it's there. So there could be that CPM, okay? Now what's cool is this CPM is totally simple for a blogger or a website to put in. It's just a line of code that's there. Also, it's easier to track because you can see like, oh, the impression's been there. It showed up. So it's easier for the advertiser to do those things. But the bad thing is you don't know if people actually looked at the ad. You don't know if the ad is placed in a good location. And so for an advertiser, you're like, well, how do I know it's actually working? Well, you don't, and that's why this is usually one of the cheaper ways to do online ads. And also, since it's so simple and people just kind of go with it, that's why you see a lot of websites abusing it by making you go through those lists for a different site. Like, oh, the second thing you love about Vienna, the third thing, they go to another page and another page and another page, just so they get those impressions. And the biggest thing about this CPM one that you might not like as an advertiser is you don't really know if it's effective, because maybe people aren't clicking, you know, you're not paying for people to click on anything. You're not seeing if any sales are getting developed from this. You're just trying to get, hey, we're out there. And so that can make it a little more complicated. So advertisers, what they might do is, let's say, look, I need a little more guarantee that people actually come to my website than just they know that my website exists. So I want them to know my website exists, CPM. I want them to go to my website, that is CPC, cost per click. And what this is you pay people a certain amount for every click that your website delivers. So that would be, hey, I'll give you $10 for every time someone clicks on my ad on your website and then they go to my website. And so for this one, hey, we're only paying for ads that deliver. So that tends to inspire the websites, the bloggers, and these kind of things to make sure that that ad is the exact right spot, because then they know it's going to have a better chance of getting clicked on. So if I'm talking about, you know, the Vienna card, I'm going to make sure it's in the, hey, getting around Vienna part of the blog. I'm going to put it right there so people might click on it to learn more. And the thing is, if you're an advertiser and you're not sure if you can really track the sales on your website or where they're from, you can at least track the traffic you get from some websites. So you can see, oh, they're coming from here, they're coming from here, and that can be something that cost per click really helps you with. And what's so great about this cost per click is you're paying not to be ignored, okay? You only pay when people actually click, so it's people that actually want to go to your site. So that makes things a lot better. And making sure that the ads are displaying correctly, because if they're not, I mean, if they're showing up at the bottom of the blog, well, no one's actually going to see it because no one goes to the very bottom. You want to make sure it's on the sidebar or at the top of the banner or in the middle or something like that, okay? And then there's the next level. This one is called CPA, cost per action. And this is, I will pay you $20 for every person that clicks on the ad on your website, comes to my page, and then buys something. This time you're really incentivizing the blogger or the website to kind of make sure they're putting those ads in the right place, because man, I can get a good payoff if they actually buy stuff from what they see on my website. If you've ever gone to a blog and you've seen Amazon links on there where it's like, oh, hey, you were looking at this at Amazon, maybe buy this now. Well, those people, when you click on that and buy it, they get a percentage of that sale. That's another cost per action. Amazon does a percentage of the sale. Some places just say, we'll give you a certain amount per sale you have. So you have those things. But the thing is, the key thing is, you're only paying for actual sales. You're not paying for people to click and go, that's not for me. That's cost per click. You're not paying for people just to look at your ad and not do anything. That's CPM. This is you saying, look, I'm only paying when people bring money into me. And that really is a big incentive for the websites to put it in the right place, to have it display correctly and things like that. Now, the disadvantage of this is, well, sometimes this is kind of hard to track. You have to have the data technology and all these things to track these things. That's why most of the time you see it's Amazon, because Amazon's got Amazon Web Services and all this stuff to really handle all this information, and they can track, oh, that was on a Wolters World blog or a Professor Wolters blog, and then it went to our Amazon site, and then they bought it within 10 minutes. Mark gets a 3% of that sale. That's what we're looking at. So that's why it's just really important you have really good ISIT if you're going to be doing this cost per action, okay? If you don't have good IT, you can just do CPM and you'll be fine, all right? Now, and then there's a fourth one I want to talk about, and that's just a negotiated way of putting ads on there. I have this a lot on my travel channel where companies will contact me like, hey, I want to put an ad for rental cars in Iceland on your Iceland blog. Okay, on this specific blog for renting a car in Iceland. I'm like, okay, they're like, how much are your rates? And so we negotiate. Well, is it like $500 for a month, or what is it for? You'll go back and forth and kind of decide. And that's something that's why you'll see some bloggers will have, look at our information. Here's our media kit. So they can see their impressions and their demographics. And so you'll negotiate what that price will be for that to be on the site for however long you want it there. Maybe for a month or 6 months, or maybe just for a week. Like, hey, I want this ad up during introduction week in the new semester, so students that are trying to find new places, they come see us. All right, fair enough, but you negotiate that one-on-one. And this is really good if there's a very specific site you want to be on, because CPM, CPC, CPA, a lot of times are run by third parties and stuff like this. Negotiations, you can just talk directly to that website, say, hey, I want to be on your train specialty website, and I want to be on this page. And that's what's cool about it. You can be very niche focused for that ad. And these are used by usually smaller websites or niche websites. And they use because look, I know I have this one small, tiny niche. And so this works really well for us. So you have a lot more kind of connection between the ads and the website. If you go to a blog and you're like, man, these ads are like exactly right for what I'm thinking about on this blog, a lot of times it might be that. They might just negotiate it with it, because like, look, instead of me dealing with Google AdWords or something like that, a straight check from you might be easier. Now the thing is though, with these negotiated ones, there's no guarantee of success on this. There's no promise that yes, you're definitely gonna get sales from this because you're on there. It's kind of, you're hoping you'll get sales from that. And the thing is, sometimes it's hard to find a site that's really that specific. I mean, is there a site out there that's for tourist families with 2 boys that want to go to Hallstatt, Austria in October for 2 days? Well, there might not be one that's that specific, so you might have a tough time that way. And also, sometimes very small niche blogs actually don't advertise, so you might not even get to advertise on them anyway. But the thing is, overall, these negotiated ads, they're very simple to use. It's just code putting in. It's simple, so for the advertiser, and it's simple for the blogger as well, so it can be very effective in terms of just saying, look, it's simple for you to do, and you're done, versus make sure we're tracking all this stuff, which can make it more complicated. Anyway, I hope this helps you know a bit more about CPM, cost per thousand, CPA, cost per action, CPC, cost per click, also negotiated rates as well. So you want to learn more? Click subscribe. We put out new marketing and YouTube videos every so often, so go check them out there. And bye from Vienna. Hey there, fellow marketers and Uber passengers. Professor Wolters here, and today we're here in Watkinsville, Georgia. And today we're going to talk about is dynamic pricing. This is ever fluctuating pricing. Have you ever noticed when you take Uber in the afternoon and no one else is asking for one, it's a nice cheap price? But when you try to grab an Uber late night when there's parties going on, or during a game, like if you're here at the University of Georgia, a football game or something like that, when there's lots and lots of people out there, the surge pricing kicks in, the prices get a lot higher. Well, that idea of the constantly changing prices is dynamic pricing. And so you do see that on Lyft or Uber and things like that. And of course, you can plan around it. Like I tell people, if you're in New York City, do not take an Uber during rush hour because the prices will get jacked up higher. Take a normal taxi, okay? And the thing is, it's not just Uber or Lyft or any of these ride-sharing services that have dynamic pricing. You'll also see this in hotel rooms. You'll see this on airplane tickets. You'll see this sometimes on the trains as well. As they get closer to the day, the demand ramps up, and so they jack up the prices. And so as consumers with dynamic pricing, what you usually try to do is plan ahead. Like, if I know that July is a really busy time to fly, and that's when they have expensive tickets, I'm going to book a lot earlier than the usual 2 or 3 months beforehand because I have a better chance of getting a deal when there's not a lot of demand. Because flights, usually people are buying about 3 months out, and that drives the price at that time. And so you kind of think about that. I know for me, when I'm looking to buy train tickets when we travel in Germany, right? If you buy the tickets online a few days before, it's like almost half price than if you go and buy it the day of. And so you have to think about these things because as the price changes when you're buying, you have to think about that. And the thing is, it's not just transportation things and travel things where you see the dynamic pricing. What you might also see is if it's a company or an industry where they're really comparing their prices and their products and their services with their competitors a lot, they might actually tie their prices on to their competitor prices. So if their competitor drops the price, they'll drop a price. If their competitor raises the price, they'll raise their price. And so it always is keep moving. And that's why sometimes you'll see the prices jump around, okay? So as a consumer for dynamic pricing, what can I recommend for you? One, book early, okay, if you're going to be looking tickets, hotel rooms, and things like that. And also look at their competition. See what they're charging. Because you might see that, when I looked on Trivago, I got this price. When I looked at TripAdvisor, I got that price. Pick the one that works best for you. So I hope this little short video explaining dynamic pricing helps you understand why it is that sometimes those surge prices kick in on Uber. It's because demand has surged as well. Anyway, I'll say bye from here in Georgia. Hey there, fellow marketers, Professor Wolters here, and today we're here in Aruba, and today we're going to talk about some of kind of the basic performance measures that social media marketers and digital marketers should use when they're kind of judging the performance of their social media pages or their website. Now, there's a lot more key performance indicators out there, and we have a much more advanced video talking about some of the more, like the big ones, but these are really the core ones that everyone should really know. And the thing is, they can be linked to your output, they can be linked to your revenue, there's a lot of different things that they can be linked too, but I'm gonna just kind of focus on some of these basic things out there so you can have a nice idea. Obviously, probably the biggest one that the boss likes to know about are your fans. Now, when I say fans, there's a lot of different ways you can look at that. That could be your YouTube subscribers, your followers on Facebook, or your followers on Twitter, all your Instagram buddies and stuff like that. Those would be the fans. They're the ones that follow you. So you might say, oh, the more subscribers we have, the more fans we have, the better we're doing. So you might judge it that way. The thing is, though, that's not the only thing that counts, because you might want to know is, hey, we might have subscribers, but do they actually visit our website? And that's why probably the next thing you want to know about is what they call page views. So page views are the number of times your page gets open. Okay, so someone goes to your site, someone goes to that site, boom, it gets a page view. It gets a page view again. The thing is, with page views, they can be manipulated pretty easily. I mean, you could tell your grandma, could you go on this internet thing and click on my website like 50 times? Well, that'll get you 50 page views. The thing is that 50 different people looking? No, that can be a problem. That's why what you want to look at are visitors. How many different people came to the website, okay? Or how many different, I should say, IP addresses came to that website, because then you can see is it one person doing everything, or are there multiple visitors, multiple people coming to this website, okay? Now, the thing is with visitors, that's the more time a person comes on there. The next thing I want to talk about is what we call a unique visitor. That is the individual different IP addresses that come on there, okay? Because you might, think about it, if you're a bank, you have people that come and check their account multiple times a day, right? So that's just one visitor. But the thing is, they have multiple visits, right? So that's visitor, visitor, visitor. You want to make sure you're not double counting them. That's why you do the unique visitors, okay? Now with that, you might want to look at the average page number per visitor to see how many pages are they actually checking out on our website. Because it could be they just go to the home page and leave, but if they go to the home page and then look at our products, then look at another product, showing that they're doing research and trying to do more, or are they only going to one page and then taking off? So we kind of want to judge that to see is how much time are they staying on there? How many pages they're visiting on our website? Now, another thing you want to look at is when you're looking at people visiting your website, you also want to track what's called your bounce rate. And so the bounce rate is the number of people that when they come to your website, they leave right away. I mean, think about it. Have you ever done a search and gone to a website and go, oh, no, that's not what I wanted, and you click back right away? You bounced off of there. So that's the bounce rate, the percentage of people that bounce off very quickly. And you don't want, the higher the bounce rate is, the worse you're doing, okay? So you want to keep that bounce rate low, because the bounce rate's low, that means they're staying on your website. You're giving them the information they're looking for. So the search question they had, that web page is doing a good job of giving them the answer, so they stay and do it and they don't just leave right away. Another thing you might want to look at in terms of kind of performance measures with how you're doing with relating to, you know, your viewers and stuff like that, is your interaction rate. And this is actually something that a lot of websites will do and social media channels will do and look at in order to make sure that people aren't faking their view counts. Because what an interaction rate is, it looks at the number of likes, dislikes, comments, subs that a video would get or a post would get and stuff like that, to see is like, is this getting people to engage? Is this getting people to interact? Is this a quality video that people want to say, I like this video, or hey, this is something that really helps me? These kind of things help out. If all of a sudden you see there's a video with 1 million views, but only like 100 comments, you're like, wait a minute, something's not right here. They should have a lot more interaction with that number of views, and that's how you can kind of check and see if there's any like internet fraud going on there. So we kind of want to look at that. Now, another thing you might want to look at is what they call the share of voice. So share of voice is whenever people are searching for whatever you're selling or the topic of products you have, how much percentage of those search end up showing things like you, okay? So when I look up soda, how much does Coke show up, right? Is it trending? That's when you're looking at those trending tabs and things like that. Are we going to good share the voice? Are people talking about us a lot? So you might want to look at that. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is what's called the click-through rate. And the click-through rate is how many times you have an impression on a website that someone actually clicks on it. So an example of this, if you're watching this in YouTube, if you're on your phone, and let's say you scrolled down and you saw those other videos pass by that you could also watch, that's an impression. Each one of those videos that show up there, they're getting an impression. And so what they do is, how many times did that thumbnail pop up on YouTube in all the different places? And then you look at it as how many times people actually click on it. And that's the click-through rate. So if you're getting, 10%, 5 to 10% click-through rate on a YouTube video, that's actually pretty good. That means for 100 times it goes through at a 10% click-through rate, 10 people are clicking on it. I mean, that's actually a good way, okay? So you're kind of looking at those things. So you might want to look and see is, if we're getting 1 million impressions, but we're only getting like 0.5% click-through rate, why aren't we doing that? Okay, that might make you want to change your thumbnail or change the title or something like that to entice people to actually click on that video, to click on that social media link, to make sure they're going to that page or going to that video. And that's why a lot of times, like social media, analysts and stuff like that, will definitely look at the click-through rate to say, hey, look, you're not getting people, you're showing up, but you're not getting clicked on. There's going to be some issues. That's why they'll have the pictures on the thumbnails like, oh my goodness, or you'll never believe what happens, or oh, look at this great food I have. They do those things to give people a reason to click, to increase that click-through rate, okay? And then the last one I want to talk about is fan source. And this is looking at is, where are the people coming from that are landing on my videos or landing on my, Facebook page or my website or things like that. You track that to see, because all of a sudden I see, wow, I'm getting a lot of new views from this video on someone else's channel. Well, maybe I should make a video like that video, because our fans are already watching that and then they're coming to us. Why don't we make that video already? So you have that. Also, you might look and see, oh, a lot of people are actually coming from Twitter. Maybe we should do more on Twitter. Maybe we should have a Professor Wolters Twitter channel, because people are coming from Twitter. And so it gives you an idea of where your fans are coming from, where your views are coming from, and you can adjust your content and you can adjust kind of your outreach to your clients because of that. So I hope this helps you know some of the really basic, social media marketing performance measures, so you have an idea of what's going on out there. Now, I have a ton more videos that talk about specific ones out there for YouTube and other things, but I thought this was a good place to start. Just like Aruba is a good place to start to get a sunburn, because, oh my goodness, the sun's very strong here. Anyway, I wish you all the best. I'll say bye from here in Aruba. Hey there, fellow marketers, Professor Wolters here, and today we're here in Edinburgh, Scotland. And today we're going to talk about some of the basic digital marketing and social media marketing metrics that you should know, so you know if your website's doing well or your social media is doing well, these kind of things. Because there's a lot more than just the number of subscribers and likes you have to really show the healthiness and well-being of your website or your social media feeds, okay? And the first metric you'll hear a lot is what are called hits. And a hit is any time a browser opens your website. Now, you could think that's great, all those hits we're getting, people are coming to see us, but no. hits aren't necessarily people. Hits are anytime if a search engine opens up your page to see if there's an answer, or anything opens up, a bot opens it up, that counts as a hit. Therefore, as marketers, hits aren't really important to you. What are important to you are page visits or page visitors. Those are the number of actual people who go and visit your website. And it's better because it's actually a human response versus bots doing it. And when I talk about visitors, what you want to think about in terms of visitors, those are like the unique people that visit your website. It's not your grandma going there and refreshing your website 2,000 times to get 2,000 hits. No. Visits are the unique people that go there. How many different people are checking out that site? So for a website, they want to make sure that, look, we have 2,000 different people visiting this versus just one person doing it. So it's another one of those metrics to show like how much reach you actually have, how far out are you actually going. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is what's called click-through rate, or you might say the CTR. And the click-through rate is basically the number of impressions that your website or your video or your whatever actually has, that people actually click on it and they click through to the actual site. So if you're probably watching this on YouTube, right? And so if you're watching on YouTube, you might have a bunch of videos down below that are showing up, or videos over there on the side that they're suggesting to you. So how you calculate that click-through rate is how many times do our videos show up on the sides and how many times do people actually click on it. So if you think of it that way, if there's 3 Professor Wolters videos on there and you click on one of them, then we have a 33% click-through rate. Okay, so 33% of the times people are actually clicking on one of our links, on one of our videos, things like that. And the thing is if you look at that number, it lets you know is, hey, are we reaching out to people? Are we making a connection that are actually clicking on our videos or clicking on our website? So basically, if you're looking at the number side of it, it's the number of clicks that your ad gets over the number of people that were exposed to that ad, okay? Now, another thing you're gonna hear a lot is what's called a bounce rate. And a bounce rate is basically the number of people that only visit your site for one page and then leave. What this does is it shows search engines that, hey, look, if people are leaving this website really quickly and they're not visiting more pages on that website, it means that probably that website wasn't the right answer to their search, okay? And what the search engine will do is say, hey, this website is not answering that question, so we shouldn't serve that as a possible answer. So if you see that your web page is getting a very, very high bounce rate, like most people are just leaving right away, you have to ask yourself, why are they coming to my site and what am I not answering in that website or in that blog? Because you see that, hey, they're clicking on it and they're staying there. We have a low bounce rate. Okay, we're doing something right. But if you have a high bounce rate, we have to figure out what we're doing wrong. Are we not answering the right question? Is the title not linking up to what we're talking about? That's why clickbait is actually bad for your website, because people might click on it, but then they leave right away because they find out that it's not what they want. And therefore the search engine will say, you know what? Bad content. So if you're looking for the math version of that, it's the number of visitors who only visit one page of your site versus the total number of visitors to your site. Now, the next thing you want to look at is what's called the conversion rate. And the conversion rate is the number of people who actually do something that you want them to do over the total number of visitors. So if you want people to subscribe to your channel, if you want people to buy something on your website, you're going to look and see is, look, we get, let's say we got 4 million views last month on Wolters World, right? And on there, the subscribers, we only got 20,000 subscribers. So in terms of our conversion rate, how many of our views turned into subscribers? Well, you have that 20,000 subscribers divided by 4 million views, and that gives you a kind of a conversion rate. Amazon might look at it in terms of how many people come to our website, then actually buy something. So there's different ways you can look at your conversion, because it's going to depend on what you're trying to convert people to. Is it sales? Is it a specific kind of sale? Is it a subscriber? Is it a like? Things like that. Like, let's test it out. Click that like button. Let's see if we get a good conversion on our like ratio. And then we look at what's called abandonment rate. And the abandonment rate is how many people stop doing something on your website, like in the middle of it, divided by the total number of visitors your website gets. So for example, Amazon really looks at the abandonment rate. It sees that, look, this many people are actually putting stuff in the cart, but they don't actually buy. We're going to kind of compare these things. How can we get people to convert? How can we get people to not abandon their carts in the middle of the shop, the Amazon shop? And that's why you'll see them send you emails to remind you, hey, remember you were trying to get that Wolters World shirt, huh? Don't you want to buy that now? Don't forget it's in your cart. They do that to help lower that abandonment rate so more people are buying when they visit the website instead of losing them that way. So those are just a few of the really kind of key social media and digital marketing metrics that you should know. Now, there's a ton more out there, but I think these basic ones are kind of like give you a nice basic idea of what you need to know. And if you want to learn more, actually like YouTube specific metrics that are important, we actually have another video that deals with that. But I thought this would be a nice, good, easy start for a nice, easy little social media marketing video. So if you want to learn more, hit that subscribe button. Let's convert those subscriptions, huh? And hit that like button. Look, conversion rates. Hey, let's bring those up. And please don't abandon us. Don't do that. Anyway, I wish you all the best, and bye from Edinburgh. Hey there, fellow marketers, Professor Wolters here, and today we're in Savannah, Georgia, and today I want to give you our 5 very powerful search engine optimization or SEO tips that you can use to really help boost your videos, boost your blogs, boost your posts, and things like that. And what it really comes down to, first and foremost, before we talk about the pictures and the thumbnails and the titles and things like this, it really comes down to content is king, okay? You got to provide quality content. Things that people actually want to read, things that people actually want to watch. It doesn't matter how great that thumbnail is or how cool that title is. If people don't want to read it, they're just going to click off of it. That's why clickbait, though it gives people to click, it doesn't get people to stay. You have to have good content when people get there. So make sure you're providing that quality content, because that helps you differentiate your content versus other content that's out there. Why do you watch one YouTube channel versus another YouTube channel? Or why do you read one blog versus another blog? Because I guarantee whatever topic a video is on, there's another person that made a video just like it. If there's a blog that someone made, there's another blog that someone else wrote that's on the exact same topics. Just like these SEO tips, you'll hear the similar kind of things in other ones. Why are people choosing ones over the others? Because one is more relevant to them. It means something more to them. It's a more quality post or quality content for that person. And that's just it. All those algorithms in Google and Bing and all these other kind of places where you do search from, they look and see is when people search, which sites do they stay on longer? That kind of tells them that, oh, this is the one that gives the best answer. This is the one where people are getting their information satisfied or their questions satisfied. So that's what we should suggest more often. That's why YouTube suggestions, a lot of times, you'll see it's videos that have a lot of views already because they see that, look, people have already thought that this is a good video on that topic, so they watched it, they liked it, they commented on it, so therefore it's probably quality content. So that's the first thing. Content is king. Provide that quality content. Now, my second SEO tip is making sure you have kind of a unique or at least accurate page name. So I have a business channel called Professor Wolters. It's about education and marketing education, right? So Professor Wolters, okay, I can kind of tell it's going to be education based because professor's in the name. Our travel channel, Wolters World, okay, World, it gives an idea of what we're going on. That's why you'll see ESPN will have like we're a leader in sports and stuff like that, because look, in the title, in the page name, it has our topic. That's going to help because search engines look for specific things, okay? So make sure you do have that on each one of your pages, and each of those pages, make sure there's a good description. So when you have that little blog that shows up, you know what I'm talking about, that little blurb that shows up in search, like that, those first few lines that people read and go, like, I got the title, but what's this one talk about? Make sure that has a good description that talks about those main points, okay? And that's why you have different posts for different topics. So you might have one is how to use our product, how to unbox our product, how to have a complaint for our product. You have a different blog or different post for each one of those, or a different page for each one of those. So when people are searching for, troubleshooting for this product, it goes straight to the troubleshooting page, not to the Sony page overall, and then I have to look for it. No, you want to make it as easy and obvious for the search engines to find the main topic of that page. And that's why it's good to have a unique and accurate page name for each one of the pages you use. And that's why you should always look and see is, what are people searching for when they come to my page? I know for some search engine analytics sites will let you know, like, look, people came to your page because they were looking for this. For example, on our travel channel, people search for the country's name. They'll just say Germany. So I got to make sure I don't just say going to Berlin, the greatest Berlin ever. I'm like, no, going to Berlin, Germany. This is what they're going for, because that's what people are really searching for, okay? So use that to help create a better and more unique name for your page, or that one page you're writing, their blog you're writing. That's going to help you out. Now, my next SEO tip for you is design a simple site, but also design an intuitive site. Okay, you want to have a site that people can see, they know what they're going to get. Oh, I see the first page, I know it's travel, I know it's business, I know it's education, I know this. People can see it right away, and it's simple to use. Okay, oh, destinations, click, I'm good to go. Search, right there, okay, I have that. but also make sure it's intuitive, okay? So people kind of know, it's like, oh, I'll go look for Europe, and then within Europe will be Austria to go look at Austrian videos, and then from there I can find Vienna videos. That makes kind of sense. Don't have it all over the place. Have it nice and organized. And it's not just for the people that go to the website to make it easier for them. It also makes it easier for all the search engines, because they like to have the menu, main menu, sub menu. They like to have that all there because it makes it easier for them to figure out what's on your site so they can share it, okay? So make sure you have those things. Now, my next SEO tip for you is when you're putting in pictures, okay? When you go to a blog, there's always those cool pictures. There's like a long one and a square one and stuff like that. You have those out there. And I know a picture can tell 1,000 words. But the problem is the search engines, they can't see those pictures. I mean, they can see them, but they don't know what's there. So make sure when you're using images, make sure you put descriptions in there. So I'd have in there, if there's a picture for this on our blog, it'll be about search engine optimization tips. And the next picture will be best search engine optimization tips to help with you with your website. Okay, now I know what this picture deals with, okay? And therefore the search engine can use that to help people find your stuff, because a lot of times people are just searching for images. They're not searching for, a blog. So you got to make sure what images will go with that. And that can lead you or lead other people to your site. And my last SEO tip is something that you really should be doing. Is making sure you promote your site accurately and often, okay? You have all those social media platforms you use. Why not promote it, right? Say, hey, look, I've got a new blog out here. Go check out a new blog. Announce it on our, Facebook page. Or we have a new video out there. Go to professorwolters.com and check it out. You're promoting these things, but you want to make sure you're promoting it accurately, okay? Our videos, I always try to make sure that the title relates exactly to what I talk about. The don'ts of travel, they go to that. The culture shocks of travel goes with culture shocks. There's going to be different things people are going for, and I promote that so when people go to that don't website or the don'ts of travel, they're ready to like, hey, look, I know what I don't do on there. That really helped me prepare. Whereas the culture shock ones are more fun on the side things. And so they have that. So be accurate with your descriptions, because those clickbaits and stuff like that gets people to go to your site, but then they click off right away because it's not answering their question. It's not accurate to what the information you're giving on your website is. They're going to leave. They're going to bounce, okay? And if the search engines see a lot of people are bouncing off really quickly, they realize that whatever that person searched for that got them to your site doesn't relate to your site anymore, and that's going to hurt your search engine optimization. So make sure you're accurate with your descriptions and your promotions on social media and other places. And the thing is, the more you mention your site, the more mentions it gets, the more times your links get shared to your videos or your blogs and stuff like that. That is like a little alert to Google or Yahoo or Bing and stuff like that, hey, more people are trusting this site, more people are trusting this page, and therefore that will help with your overall search engine results, okay? So make sure you're doing a good job to promote all your pages so they get shared. That's why I'd ask you, please find a Professor Wolters video that works for you and click that share button, okay, to get it out there to help promote our videos more, because then it really helps people out, and it also helps out our search engine optimization. Anyway, I hope these 5 tips help you do a better job with your search engine optimization so your site or your YouTube channel can really take off. If you want to learn more about search engine optimization or marketing and things like that, running YouTube, check us out on our website at professorwolters.com. You can check us out there, or do click that subscribe button and you can actually subscribe and get business videos and marketing videos a few times a week usually. So wish you all the best, and bye from here in Savannah, Georgia. Hey there, fellow marketers, Professor Wolters here, and today we're here in the backwoods of Georgia to go over some of the issues that you might have with digital marketing. I mean, a lot of people think, do I need to hide in the backwoods of Georgia to protect my information from online stuff? Because that really is an issue. And that's the first thing I want to talk about with issues with digital marketing is we're collecting a lot of data on our customers, on our clients, on the people that visit our websites and buy our stuff and all these kind of things. And privacy concerns is a real issue when it comes to digital marketing. How far is too far? How much information is too much information? Because if you think about it, I mean, have you ever gotten what's called a retargeted ad? That's where like maybe we're on eBay or on Amazon, and then you go on Facebook and that stuff you were just looking at is on the ad that's over there, and you're like, whoa, do they know what I was doing? Or when you're like, I just talked about it and it showed up on my phone. What's going on here? Should I be worried? I mean, privacy is a big issue that's out there that digital marketers have to really think about. So you have to look at is what information we're going to collect, how are we going to collect it, also how are we going to use that information, because customers will know, and there's actually rules in different countries and laws in different countries about these things. So it's something that digital marketers and just marketers in general really have to think about in this digital marketing realm is privacy concerns. And kind of going along with that is the second kind of concern or issue we have, and that's online security. With all this information we have, do we protect it well enough? Because how many of you have had to get a new credit card because of a data breach or something like that? Yes, with all that data means privacy concerns, yes, but also just about the data security issues that are out there. I mean, do you think clients are going to come back to you if they find out that you lost their credit card or their personal information, or why did you save my PIN number on my credit card? I don't know what's going on here. These are issues you have to think about. And really, probably the one that gets you the most more is the third issue I'm going to talk about is how annoying digital marketing can be, or how much digital marketing can annoy customers. I mean, think about it. How many of you have accidentally clicked on the yes, I would like promotional emails sent to me, and then you get emails every single day, like too many of them? I know for me, one time I gave my email to Old Navy, this clothing company, and I got there like, it seemed like daily deals. I'm like, I do not buy that many clothes, and I don't got to show up in that often. I don't need the daily deals. Please stop. I mean, that's why they have the unsubscribe button. But you have to realize that sometimes our digital marketing efforts really can annoy our customers. So we do need to figure out is what's a good balance of that. Like, do we send them daily email? Probably not. Maybe weekly or monthly or bi-monthly or quarterly. How to do our email marketing, or what should our ads be, or how detailed should it be? Like, do we just retarget ads? Like if we're Amazon or eBay, do we just retarget people with ads of stuff they looked at? Or do we just target them from anything that's related to that and just keep sending them ads on that? And that's the thing you got to be careful with. And that's where people get annoyed with the online ads, is that they have all this information that they can send really personalized stuff, but it's still annoying no matter what. So that's an issue you really got to think about. Now, another thing you have to worry about, the fourth issue I want to talk about, is fraudulent behavior online. You ever heard of what's called phishing? It's kind of like when you get an email saying, grandma is sick, send money. And like, that gives you a bank account or a PayPal account or something like that. And like, oh no, grandma's in trouble, I need to send her money. You have people that do those things, and they're just phishing. That's why it's called phishing. They spell it differently, but phishing is really when you're trying to get people to give you more personal information, maybe your credit card information, maybe your social security number, maybe, your password or things like that. How many of you gotten an email from PayPal that needs to redo your password, or Facebook or Instagram? You need to check here to make sure you haven't violated copyright things, from some random email that's not from like at Instagram.com. It's from Bob at Video Marketers 2475 129-62d.pt. Yeah, these kind of things. Like, look, sometimes it's obvious there's phishing scams, but the thing is, as a business, you have to be careful, because not everyone is up to date on what is a phishing scam. Like, I will get emails that are from my boss's email, but they're not from her email. Okay, if someone is like, hacked her account, or someone has, cloned her account or something like that, and they send it out, and they're like, hey, that wasn't me. It's like, oh, I guess I'll go grab that meeting with you, boss. And you show up at the meeting, and they're like, what are you doing here? These kind of things sometimes can be funny, but it actually is a very serious thing. And for businesses, they don't want to get the bad reputation, because if you're the company that they're using to fish people with, then it hurts your reputation. So you really have to be careful with that. That's why, if customers write or call or email or tweet, say, hey, is this a real email for you? You'll see that companies will say, hey, send a screen cap to us, let us know, so then they can go and search for things. And if you ever get an email you're not really sure about, but you're kind of worried about, one, it's probably phishing, but just copy and paste it into like Google or something like that, and put like, fake email or fraud email or whatever. Put that in there and check it out, and you can actually see a lot of them are just fake, and they're sending out to millions of people at one time. Because think about it, if they only get like 0.1% of a million people, that's still a lot of people to make some money off of. So be careful with those phishing scams, okay? And in general, when you're looking at phishing, I guess phishing and fraudulent scams kind of go the same way, because phishing is going for the personal information. Fraudulent scams might be fake things. Like, how many of you are like, oh, hey, if you share this, Bill Gates will send you $1 million, or hey, I'm a prince from whatever country and I need your help to get my money out of the country, and I'll give you 5% of it. Those kind of schemes are out there, so you do have to be careful. And sometimes customers are worried about fake, like, apartment listings. So Airbnb is like, look, we verify the people are there, we verify the addresses, we verify the stuff, so it's not a fake. And so you have to think about that, because once it gets out that we're not sure if we can trust your website, or we can't trust your name online, that really hurts companies' business. So you really need to watch out for those fraudulent schemes. Now, another issue that digital marketers have to worry about is actually worrying about if there's any restricting access to your information. For example, if you're an alcohol company and you're going to be having stuff online in the US, it only can be shown to people 21 and older because that's the drinking age, 21 and older, okay? So do we have to restrict our access? That's why if you go to like a beer website, you know, put your favorite beer.com in, and it's in the US, they'll say, are you 21? They do that because they have to make sure people are there. But on the other side of it, think about it in terms of like these YouTube videos I'm making right here. I cannot put YouTube in China because YouTube is restricted in China. They do not have it there. Therefore, I can't get my YouTube videos out there. Yes, I could go with Youku or other, you know, Chinese video platforms, but YouTube isn't there. So we have to think about the restricted nature of it. Do we want people on our website that shouldn't be there? This is an issue that we have to think about. And then I think the last one I want to talk about is one I actually deal with a lot in some of my channels, is actually trolling or bash tagging and stuff like that. I mean, we've all seen a YouTube video or something like that, and you scroll down and you see the horrible comments that can be in there. Some are great, like, I love your videos. I mean, we've had multiple death threats. We've had people that threatened my wife, my kids, myself, all kinds of stuff. I can't tell you how many times people have mentioned my weight, amazing, or my fantastic hair or lack thereof. I mean, you do have this trolling that's on there. You do have this thing. And for digital marketers, this is kind of important, because if you're asking people to leave reviews, or you're asking people to share their experiences and stuff like that, and people share the reviews or share their experiences, and then people are making fun of them because of that, or trolling them because of that, that makes bad will with those clients on your brand. It's like, I don't want to post about them anymore because every time I go there, I get those crazy people. And that's one of the big issues digital marketers have to think about. And that's like YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and a lot of these things. They're really trying to kind of cut down on the trolling, but there's still ways that people get around it. So it is something that firms really have to really think about in their digital marketing platforms. How can I control the trolling, or what we call bash tagging, where people just, you know, you like companies might say, hey, tell us your great experience with Airbnb, and they only put in the bad examples and stuff like that. You have that as well. But the thing is, it's interesting about that is that the internet has really made it easier for companies to see the good and the bad, because people will share, especially in reviews. Like, people that write reviews are either super happy or super upset. And like, people that are just okay with it, like it was a nice experience, a lot of time they don't write reviews. So what can we do to inspire people to write? Because that is an issue we might have as well, is trying to get people to actually discuss our products online without seeming kind of, you know, smarmy, selling over the top, are they making money off this kind of things that we have to worry about. Anyway, I hope this helps you know a little bit more about some of the issues that digital marketers do deal with. And believe me, there are a ton more, but these are just kind of the basic ones I want to get started off with. So I hope this helps you know a little bit more, and good luck if you're studying for an exam. And if you're a digital marketer, I hope this helps you think about things that you need to think about. And if you have digital marketing issues you'd like to talk about, put in the comments section below so we can talk about it in other videos. Bye from here in Georgia. Hey there, fellow YouTubers and YouTube watchers, Mark here, and today we're here in Prater Park in Vienna, Austria, and today what we're going to do is answer a question that some people have sent us, and that is, hey Mark, does it matter if I hit the like button on a YouTube video? Well, the answer is, in short, yes, it does make a difference. And it makes a difference for multiple people. It makes a difference for the channel you're watching. It makes a difference for YouTube in general, but also it makes a difference for you in terms of what content that YouTube actually suggests to you, okay? So if we go through each of the kind of people that are affected each way, if we look at the channel you're watching, when you hit that like button, what does it do? Well, one thing, it lets that channel know that you like that kind of content. So if you like that kind of content and we see a lot of people like it, it means that, hey, I need to make more videos like this. So it gives them an idea of what are more of the favorite videos that people have. So that's one thing they get. Also, those likes and stuff, that's more engagement. And so for the channel, it makes it look more appealing to YouTube and stuff like that, which I'll talk about, and that video might get promoted more. But all in all, it just is great because then we know that you actually like this content, so we should keep making it, okay? Now, the second thing we look at is how it actually affects YouTube itself. Because when you hit that like button, it lets YouTube know that, hey, this video is pleasing to people. Maybe we should show it to other people that like videos like this. So that's one thing. So it's actually going to help recommend that video to other people. Also, then the algorithm sees that you've liked 3 of the don'ts of traveling video from Wolters World, our travel channel. It'll be like, oh, this person likes this kind of content, so whenever a don'ts of travel comes out from Wolters World, we're going to push that video out to them so they see that, because we've seen that they really like those videos versus the other ones they put out. And also what helps YouTube with this is what's called engagement rate, and it sees if people are actually watching a video versus if it's a robot watching a video. Because some people actually buy views and buy subscriptions and stuff like that on YouTube, and they'll buy them on Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that. And if you're YouTube, you don't want robot fake viewers, you want real viewers. And the thing is it's a little bit tougher for the robots to click like and leave a comment than it is for them just to watch. Okay, I mean, think about it. When you put on a YouTube and you just let it play for an hour and you just sit there, you don't really push anything. Like the robot just let it play through. And so by clicking the like button, it's giving an engagement, and it shows YouTube that yes, someone's really watching this video, and it's okay to actually promote it. It's not a fake view. Because if you see a video with like 1 million views, but there's only like 100 likes, you know that is not a real, like those 1 million views aren't for real, okay? And YouTube wants to know that, because if they're putting ads in front of videos that are getting watched by robots, those people paying for those ads are not going to be happy, okay? Now, and then, of course, we look at you, the viewer. Why is it good for you to click like? One, of course, you get the good feeling of giving a like or a dislike if you like or dislike a video. But also, like I said before, when you like videos, YouTube starts to suggest videos like that one as well, which is cool because sometimes you don't know that the channel you like to watch actually has maybe older videos that relate to the content you like. Or maybe you don't know about other channels that are out there. And by clicking likes on these ones, they start to suggest to you other YouTube channels that are related to the content you like, and it makes it easier for you to find new channels to watch and enjoy on YouTube. So I hope this helps you know why you should click that like button if you do like these videos. So don't forget to give us a like so you get more helpful videos like this, either from us or other great YouTubers out there. And we'll just say thank you to all of you for watching. If you do like YouTube videos like this or marketing videos, things like that, do hit that subscribe button. We put out a lot of marketing, we put a lot of business videos out, YouTube videos out, because we want to help you on your journey to being a successful YouTuber or being a successful marketer or being a successful business person, or just because you want to watch something on YouTube. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Bye from Vienna.
Hey there, fellow marketers, Professor Wolters here, and today we're going to talk about how to choose an influencer to work with your brand, because influencer marketing really does work. It does have an impact, because you know what? People don't trust commercials, they don't trust corporations, they don't trust experts all the time. They trust people they identify with. We trust our friends, we trust the people we follow on social media, we trust things that we have familiarity with. And that's why influencer marketing is very popular and very effective. And so what I want to do is kind of give you some things to think about when you're trying to determine or find an influencer to work with, or multiple influencers to work with, because it is something you might look at doing, okay? And what you really need to think about before you go and hire some influencer is do your research. You need to do research on multiple people, on your industry, on influencers that are out there. Who are people that really line up with our industry, that talk about our stuff? If I'm going to be doing a project on technical gadgets and stuff like that, I need to get an influencer that uses those technical gadgets. If I'm going to do something with food, I want an influencer that deals with food. I need to be doing research beforehand. And the things you're going to do when you're doing this research, you're going to check out their website, you're going to check out their social media pages, and you're not just going to take a glance. You're going to do a deep dive. What have they been posting? What have they been posting about? Who else have they worked with? You're doing all these things to get a better understanding of who that influencer is, what they stand for, okay? And you can actually learn a lot. And what you want to be doing when you're going through their old social media posts, you're going through their webpage, is you're looking for content quality. I mean, how good has that work been that they've done for other companies versus the work they do for themselves? Because you might see there's a very different level of quality when it's their stuff than when they work with somebody else and they're trying to sell somebody stuff, right? And so you want to kind of think about that and research it. And there are websites that can help you out. Social Blade is a website you can go to and look at viewer numbers and subscription numbers. Social Blue Book's another place you can go look and see what it's worth to work with people, to give you a rough idea. There's a lot of stuff out there, because when you start looking through people's content and you start doing that research, you start to figure out, even before you even talk to them, if they're the kind of influencer you would want your brand to work with, yes or no. Because sometimes it might seem like they're a great thing, but when you go back through, you see that, oh, they've already said 5 times that this is their favorite shampoo. I mean, how many beauty bloggers have you seen? This is my favorite shampoo. This is my favorite shampoo. It's like every few weeks. No, it's every few paychecks they say that. Okay, so you might want to think about that, and you look at that. I know in the travel industry, there was one couple that used to do a bunch of videos. It was like 5 towns in a row. It's my favorite city in Mexico. And it turned out they were paid off by the tourism boards of those different cities to say good things about them. And that makes you go, which is their really favorite city in Mexico? Do they have one? And so you have to think about that when you're doing their research. And that's why sometimes it's nice. You realize after watching a few videos, you know what? They're not for me. You know, that's why when people are like, oh, I didn't realize they did risque stuff. Well, have you ever looked at any of the other stuff they've made? It kind of gives you that. So do that research. Now, after you've done the research, you know, you're learning about them. And my second tip for you is see if they have similar values to you, or I should say similar values to your product or brand. Because if your brand is all about family friendliness and being the family together, then that's going to be a different kind of blog or different kind of blogger, vlogger, influencer than somebody somebody's like, it's all about making the money. It's all about the Benjamins. I'm going to make it rain. Well, there's products that you want that person that's going to make it rain in there. But there's other people you want them to focus more on the family thing. And so those values will really come in, because if your values align, your company values align with the influencer's values, it's a lot easier to work with them, okay? Because they're not making up fake beliefs. Their beliefs and your beliefs are similar, so it works. Though I will say sometimes the numbers trump the values, because you just want to have enough people actually seeing it. So you might see, I don't really line up with their values, but they can get me in front of 5 million eyeballs. So maybe I will still work with them. So there are things that will trump some of these. So I just want to give you some things to kind of think about. So after you've done your research, you really see if the values line up, what you can do is actually on their websites, you might see a thing called a media kit. Or you can ask them, write them and say, hey, we're interested in working with you. Could we possibly see your media kit? And on their media kit, it will tell you a lot of things, but just remember, the media kit is always meant to make them look good, okay? And it will tell you the number of impressions they get, the number of subscribers they have, the number of social media platforms they're on, the other campaigns they've worked with or companies they've worked with. They're going to give you an idea of what they do, what their reach can be, and that can help you understand. But I want to tell you, my next advice for you is realize that subs aren't the only thing you need to look at, okay? 5 million subscribers is great, but if no one's watching it, it might not be as helpful as if you get somebody with, 10,000 subscribers, but it's a very focused niche. You want to look at that. That's why that media kit can really talk about, here's the niches we specialize in, and if your niche fits into that, that could be a much better, more impactful influencer than if you get somebody with 5 million subscribers. And the thing is when you're looking at the numbers and you're looking at the media kit, they kind of go together, because I say look at the media kit, but also don't just look at the subs, look at different numbers. Look at the number of impressions they have. Look at the number of views they have. Look at the number of engagements they have, because if people are liking and commenting and doing things, that means whatever they're doing is getting people to talk, getting people to interact with these things. And that means your brand has a better chance of being talked about because people are talking about that influencer. So look at that engagement rate. That can help you as well. But I will warn you, when it comes to the numbers, influencer fraud is real. Think about it. If I can buy 10,000 subscribers and it makes me look for whatever, $200, whatever, I don't know how much it is, but for that, and I can make an extra $10,000 from influencer marketing, heck yeah, people will do that. Now, they get caught doing that, get thrown off the platform, it can be really bad, but you, as someone that's going to work with an influencer, you want to see their numbers and look, do things make sense? Is there a weird spike and then it flattens out again? What happened there? Ask them to explain it, because honestly, influencer fraud is not super prevalent, but it's out there, and it's something you should really look at, because I'm sure if you're running the social media for your company, you've probably got a direct message saying, hey, we can get you more subscribers if you pay us. Those things are out there, and you don't want that. You don't want fake views. You want real, honest views. That's why sometimes those smaller niche influencers work better. And when you focus on the niche influencers, you might see that that niche is perfect. I know for me, this Professor Wolters channel only has about 10,000 subscribers, but I've actually worked with a number of companies and embassies to actually develop training programs for them because I specialize in marketing education and online education. And therefore, hey, we can go with you. That's very niche. You got a PhD, you're a professor at a big university. Heck, that works just right. And that can be actually more helpful because when you're thinking about influencing, what do you want people to do? Do you want them to buy? Do you want them to believe? Do you want them to listen? Do you want them to learn? This is also something you have to think about when you're choosing your influencer, okay? How they're going to deliver your message to their audience. Now, as you're working with your influencer, one thing I would do is keep track of your conversations with them. Because another thing I like to look at is evaluating the reliability of the influencer. When I email them, how long does it take them to get back to me? When they promise me a date to get a video, how long do they have to postpone it 10 times, or does it come right away? Or do they get it done early? I mean, this is what you want to look at, because if you work with an influencer once and it works well, you're probably going to want to work with them again, but you want to keep track. Because the person choosing the influencer the first time might not be the same person the second time. So keep track of that reliability and evaluate them on that. Now, you'll notice when you look at the media kit, it might talk about some of the other campaigns they've worked on. You might also ask for references to see how they did. I mean, a lot of people don't ask for references anymore because they're scared that people will be afraid or upset that you ask. Hey, look, it's your business and you want to make sure they're going to do a good job for you, right? So it doesn't hurt to ask for those references and contact them, because I've actually had it where people contacted me to work with me and I said, oh, okay, well, who else have you worked with? And then I'll contact them. And one was like, I've never worked with that person in my life. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm glad I found that out, because again, influencer fraud, it does happen. All right. So with this video, I just wanted to give you some things to think about before you hire an influencer, or before you start looking for an influencer, because there's a lot out there that you can actually work with. And yes, some of them are just taking some pictures on Instagram. Other ones will make videos for you or posts for you. I've done training courses for people. So there's all kinds of ways you can hire influencers to help you and your business. So I hope this helps. If you want to learn more, we got plenty of videos to help out with marketing, social media, YouTube, and all kinds of other fun stuff. So I wish you all the best. I'll say bye from here in beautiful Savannah, Georgia.